Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lancer. It is just business with the Tuesday crew on the Component Cast. It's nice to see everybody. As you can see, we are currently missing our mighty leader, Midgeman. So I am actually controlling the stream today. Send help. Roach, what are we playing today?
We're playing Lancer. It is a game made by Massive Press, available on their website and their itch.io page. You can get the free version of the rulebook, which contains all of the rules, but for the lore stuff, for free from their itch.io page. So there's actually, you can just give this a shot without investing anything into it at the start. But I highly recommend taking a look at the rulebook for $25 for a digital PDF. It is totally worth it. The art is amazing.
Fabulous. So I just want to let everybody know at home, if you would prefer to consume your Component Cast content in podcast form, all of our backlog is now officially up on our Podbean. The only thing that's not up there is our Lancer stream from last week, which Mitch hasn't had time to make any marketing things for, so that might be a little while. And this episode will obviously not go up until after that backlog is done. But from now on, essentially every week you can expect there to be 3 new podcast episodes when there are 3 shows broadcasted. So you'll see a Monday crew, an Elendor episode, a Tuesday crew, a Lancer episode, and then a Wednesday crew, a Cyberpunk Red episode, Night City Terrors, every Wednesday. And you'll see all of those usually go up on the Friday or a Saturday morning, GMT. So you'll see a load of stuff coming from us all over the place. Our YouTube is also catching up on our backlog. So please watch it wherever you can. If it helps you get through your workday, great. We hope to see you all soon. So without further ado, let's get back to business.
Indeed.
And we are back. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the recap for at least the first few episodes until I can figure out an appropriate reward to give you all for actually doing these. But so last session, we started off with our intro session. We got to meet everybody, or at least we got to meet everybody who's currently awake on board the ship, and have them do some meet and greet, figure out the dynamics, have 2 of the members figure out that they're actually piloting giant death robots, as they previously didn't know that, and deal with that as an issue, and also meet some of their coworkers, other NPCs that are inside of the mercenary unit that they are assigned to. And surprisingly enough, most of them pretty decent people, it turns out, or at least not outwardly horrible. Yes, yes, rival. Yes.
Very debatable.
But along with all of that, we also got information about their upcoming mission, where they're going and what they're going to be doing. And specifically, right at the tail end of the session, they found out that they were all part of the same unit together. Known throughout the ship as the unit where kind of all of the oddballs get sent.
Lemming Squad.
Yes, and you were being assigned to be one of kind of the forward spears of a mission coming up. The first boots on the ground, as it were, for an invasion of a planet in the Tanam star system on Panem Prime. You all received some information via your personal communiques about what the mission is, what's expected of you, and you also did some of your own little reconnaissance about who's your pilots, what can you expect from them, and kind of get to know them a little bit better. So quite a lot of just getting everything down, as well as a little bit of downtime training. But we start this session in the morning after all of you have finished kind of your sleep for the night and waking up. So you'll add a full rest. I do want to say that everybody, your equipment wise, you can we were kind of lowballing you on that. You can have a instead of just what we said previously, I believe the actual loadout you can have is
it's armor, 2 weapons, and 3 pieces of gear.
Yeah. So armor, 2 weapons, 3 pieces of gear. So I think we lowballed you on the gear. So yeah, you can do that. So if that's what you want to do, you can, because you have access to everything, as all things are 3D printed in the future. But you should all be able to see in the journal tab a couple of personal or a couple of documents. So you've all been provided with access to an operations folder, which should have an op rod for your mission that was sent. This was supposed to be available last session, but I hadn't finalized it yet. And I had a long weekend, so that's there now. Probably not useful at this point, but you do at least have some good info on who's who in terms of like names of the various units. And as we established, you were Combat Group Hammer. So, what would you all like to do? You have a little bit of time.
How long until drop?
Say maybe about say maybe 2 hours. It's an early up situation. You get up very early in the mornings. It's just military ship kind of is to do, and they'll take some time to need to load everything up into your specific like drop ship.
On our deployment site, is it going to be like dawn type thing?
It's going to be at about 7 a.m. local.
Okay.
So
right.
it'll be.
We'll be in daylight. They'll know exactly where we're coming from when they won't be waking up or anything. It'll be great. Fine. No problems. Just stack the odds. Why don't you, GM?
Well, actually, hold on. Let me double check the planet. I have a write up on this.
No, they made it. They can't make it too easy for us. We're the meat shield after all, rival. You know what I mean?
I am a sci-fi nerd, so I did generate the planet. So I just need to see what its orbital inclination and tilt is.
Not just a sci-fi nerd, space nerd.
Space nerd.
Space nerd.
True. So true. Okay, well, given this tilt and inclination, it will be dawn, but it will be twilight at that time at this point in the year, because it is at least to your calendar, it would be September.
No.
So
yeah.
So let me get this straight.
No.
The people in charge have no idea what we're going up against. They're not sure if there's going to be any civilians in the area.
Yep.
They're dropping us in with practically no information on topographical data at all. And they're dropping us in daylight.
Yep.
Would they like to throw up a firework display just to let everyone know we're coming?
Probably.
I mean, that's going to be the ship.
Yeah.
I would point out as well, yes, because you're going to be going through the atmosphere in a pretty steep descent profile. It's going to be pretty noticeable because it'll be a giant fireball going through the sky. And I would point out secondarily, this is 5,000 years in the future of the beginning of this calendar, which is thousands of years ahead of our future. Light may not necessarily be that big of an issue anymore in terms of everything.
This is true. I have a smart scope that's like, it has every single type of vision available to it. And
I can have an app on my phone where I can just see in the dark.
Yes, I know. But if you do that with your eyes, you have to wait for your eyes to adjust and everything. And it's harder to see shadows on the ground when you've got a light sky. So that twilight kind of area where the eye can't adjust to the darkness of the ground and the light of the sky, so you can actually move around a bit easier. Get him, and you just. I'm sorry, the basics of camouflage have been just completely washed away by this army.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have multiple people on your squad that have bright colors on their mechs.
Bright colors needs light to be able to see it. If you're going in the dark, they can't.
Caitlyn's gonna have breakfast.
Yeah, I'm gonna go have breakfast while Demon is fucking losing his mind in the bunk.
Yeah. Oh, he just learned that Reaper's like arm paint is fluorescent and it gives off its own light, so it can be seen.
It's the only.
Yes, Anna's actually spent the night putting in fluorescent tubing, so she gets underlighting on her mech.
Yeah. No, that would be Ursa who has that sort of paint going on, because my mech only has one decal on it.
That's true, Ursa. Yeah, I'll get him. Yeah. I'll get him right. I just need to double check I didn't mix those up in time. No, I got those correct. So yeah, you go for breakfast. It's standard or kind of early morning thing. Everybody's you can see all the kind of the old hands are doing exactly what they would like what they normally do. They're just getting a breakfast and then immediately heading out to double check all their equipment or supervise their mechs loading, all that kind of stuff. You see actually a lot more activity on the through deck when you do eventually get out there, because you've been kind of in your Caitlyn has been a bit more intermingled with the rest of the ship, as you were previously. You weren't a Lancer for a time, so you kind of got an experience the other members of this expedition, including the mechanized infantry battalions that were assigned here, of which a good portion of them are on board the two carriers in the battle force, one of which is on here and the other one is on the other carrier in the fleet. And so there's a lot of activity with them going on the through deck, just a lot of people onboarding equipment. You see a lot of vehicles that were in like cold storage being brought out and then put onto like bulk transports, all that kind of stuff. It's separated from you all a bit, but it's still obvious that everything's being kind of just gone through like final checks. So what's Demon up to? Is reviewing the op rod and
basically and going, oh, that's really cool. You know, Hammer's not on this point blank operation thing at all. No, great. They don't expect us to survive. Excellent.
Technically, I would point out, just because the way I had it written up, you are on it. It's just the specific because of who was going in what was they were just given code names. So you're Bravo, as it stipulates inside of the assault point. There's Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie as the kind of forward mech units going in. You're Bravo, and then two others. Hold on, let me check mine here just so you're aware.
Okay, so we're going for neutralizing air defenses and then going after a spaceport.
Yep. Yeah, you're Bravo as Hammer. Alpha is going to be Thunder, second company, and Charlie is Warhawk. Yeah, and those were the finalized names. So first company Shadow Strike, second company's Thunder, third company's Saber, fourth company's Warhawk, fifth company's Raptor, and you are technically the sixth company, but it has a different label. You're the Special Combat Group Section Hammer.
Meat Shield.
Meat Shield 1.
Okay, no, so Demon's basically just going over his gear, checking everything, then going to his mech to have a final check over, make sure he's ready so that he can dedicate some time for the newbies.
Yeah, so you probably would you say Demon got up a little earlier than everybody to go through that?
Demon's way of working is basically, if he needs to be on the line for 7, he's up about 2 hours earlier to make sure everything's prepped. Not discounting the fact he's prepped his own gear the night before.
Yeah.
But triple check.
Yeah. So yeah, you go through all of those various checks. Would Demon also have any, like, Demon's an old hat at this kind of work, just in general. Does he have any rituals or anything he does as his prep? Does he have like a special, like, kind of routine he goes through for this?
Not really. When he first joined up with the Union military, it was to get out of the life of being a miner and mining ships and things. So he's basically, all he knows is what he got in basic training, then special ops training, then Lancer training. So he's just added new skills and now knows what he does, and that's it. That's all he does.
So
if you took him out of the military or military service, he would literally stand there and go, "What do I do now?"
I can just imagine him being like a used car salesman, but he runs that place like a fucking machine.
Yes.
It's just like...
Who put this on their desk?
Yeah.
And you know full well who did it. You just want to see if they own up to it.
Yeah. Who's gonna? You want to see who either owns up to it or tells on somebody else, so you can figure out who's the Blue Falcon in this group.
I'm Spartacus.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back, Ursa.
Sorry about
we're
that.
live.
Ursa
You're
slept
fine.
in. It's fine.
Yeah, so we just went over the kind of the intro and the recap and everything. You've all woken up a few hours early before the mission's actually supposed to start. Everything's kind of in its you're in your prep phase, like you're getting double checking all your equipment, maybe supervising the loading of your mech on your ship or on the ship you're assigned to. That kind of thing. You have access to a document now in game that I forgot to give you last week. It's the operational report for this operation. Gives you some information about what's up. I would like to point out, just so Demon and Rival more specifically is a little bit more placated, there is a map associated with this opera, but the issue is it's more of just like it's a kind of a general map. You're going to be in the city. And I didn't have a good stand-in for a map theme to make a map template out of. I had one, but then didn't really mesh well with the new combat map kind of aesthetic I had going, so I had to scrap it. Basically, the city's basically on a flat plain. It's a pre-planned city, as most colonies are nowadays. So. It's also a city made for walking more so than driving. There are streets available and they're straight. It's not like crisscrossing, like, that kind of thing. It's all like gridded out, but it's much more, there's not like main 4 lanes going through, like, crossing. It's not like a New York where everything's like super connected. Like there are areas that are just, footpaths or like an area with like sections that might be just for walking or pedestrian traffic, that kind of thing. You're going to be dropping into a public park that's in kind of the northeastern part of the city. It's flat. There's no tall buildings to get in the way, and you're just going to be doing a dust-off landing. And so that's where you're going to be going in on. Okay. And your targets are more in the center part of the city. There's just like a collection, the 3 spaceports that the 3 units are going into is kind of like arranged in a triangle. In the sense, so you're in the top left-hand corner bit, and then Alpha is on top right-hand corner, Charlie's at the bottom in terms of like which target they're going for. So that's where you're going. And obviously, you're going to have ISR with a handler in above you. So. Any other questions about the mission or prep time or anything like that?
Well, once I'm all done, I'm going to go and find the other 2.
Great.
No, 2. I have Reaper who knows what he's doing.
Fair.
Okay. And what is speaking of Reaper, what's Reaper's like morning for this? What's his
so breakfast
routine?
About 20 minutes of cardio, shower, and then out to the mech bay to look over his mech for the rest of the evening. He's got his headset on. He's got music blaring in it. He can't hear anything. He's looking through like system checks and weapons checks and just double checking things. And then once all of that's done, he's just waiting there, basically, sitting in the mech.
Yeah, as per standard procedure, the mech is in a low power state. The reactor is cold while it's in a mech, while it's on like a cradle. So you're not going to start it up until it's actually loaded up and everything. So you're just running through kind of like, you know, the low power state. Everything's reading green. Nothing looks good. Like it's, you know, it's basically pristine at this point. All like anything that was worn or worn out or anything like that have been replaced. It's just the entire trip here. You know, anything that needed replacing or maintenance or anything like that was done. And before that, this was in cold storage anyways. So it's pristine, other than a slightly new OS on top, and that's it.
That's it, really.
Yeah, and the same thing you see on the through deck, just a lot of activity, because the mech bay is basically just a repurposed through deck at this point, and you just seen a lot of the basic infantry getting ready. You see them; they're lining up by squad and the platoon, and they're getting assigned to individual ships and all their equipment and everything. I have background. Somebody's mowing a lawn, and I can hear it through my headphones. I can't. It's making it hard for me to concentrate on what I'm saying. Yeah, you see all that going on as well as other mech pilots going through their checks, their rituals, you know, that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Into the ordinary. Ursa.
Yes.
What's Ursa's kind of routine for this morning?
Ursa's routine is an interesting one, and that is he starts his morning with a large, like a large pint of coffee. That he is going to snap not like a pharmaceutical grade caffeine into it, but he's gonna add a little bit of extra caffeine to that. He is dedicated to staying up for as long as possible. He doesn't sleep until the job is done in this instance. No solid foods. He's gonna clear himself out before mission, because you never know how long you're gonna go before the opportunity arises. And then after that, it is just settling, and just never settling but never sitting. It's always just constantly moving around, staying moving, getting warmed up before, well, it's time to get to work.
Okay. It's all very doable.
Lots of prowling around and just keeping an eye on things. Though he's not really looking at anything. He's just moseying around everywhere he can get.
Right. Okay. And anything and Caitlyn?
Caitlyn's gonna get something light for breakfast and head straight down to the mech bay because that's the bit she knows. She knows the mechs, and she knows the kit, so that she at least has some control over and knows she can make it the best that it can be, and it's probably, hopefully, going to stave off whatever panic attack that she might be having.
All right. Yeah, and so Demon, you said you were going out to just check on the other two newbies. Who do you prioritize in terms? And
I prioritize Spanner because although Ursa has less experience, as in only just recently found out what a Lancer is, I'm going to have him with me the whole time. So do a kind of quick check. You okay? Any questions? Talk to Reaper. He's your buddy. He's going to keep you going in the right direction. If you get confused or anything, get behind cover and then get back to Reaper. Done. And then I'll go and find Ursa and pretty much say the exact same, except as long as you can see me, you should be fine.
I am not worried. This is not my first time going into combat. This is just my first time going into combat strapped into something several tons heavier than I am. Actually, that is not entirely true. The drop pods can get pretty heavy. This is the first time I've been piloting one of those things.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and so throughout the throughout the pre-prep time, you go through all of that. Everybody gets ready. All your equipment and everything is done. Ursa as well. I've just updated everybody the fact that your like pre-mission, like the things you can take. Just to update everybody, you can have your full 3 personal item pilot gear, 1 main weapon, or 2 weapons and an armor. So. Just letting you know that, so you can finalize that on your sheet if need be. So yeah, you get everything you need, and you go through those rituals in the morning, and then comes the time that everything's getting loaded on, and you've got before dust off. So all of you who went and checked on your Mech or everything, which I'm assuming I think everybody kind of went out and checked their Mech kind of, and they stayed near it at a certain point. You all get told, like, if you're in it, get out of it. Just generally, like, they start the loading process onto the bird. So your bird's kind of wheeled over and opened, and then your mechs are kind of, anything that needs to be done to modify them for this drop is added quickly, but everything's pretty universal, so it kind of just is hot swapped onto like hard points kind of a deal, and then they're loaded kind of flat packed into the back cargo area of the bird, which has access kind of ladders to each of the different mechs, so you can get into them when the time comes. And there's a little bit of space on the side where you can actually get into the main like crew area of the bird, so that you can be there during descent, and then right before drop off you can get into the mechs, and you get reacquainted with your flight crew. They're all there doing kind of final like pre-flight checks, like everything you'd expect them to be doing before going forward with this. You'd also expect for like just general like aircraft usage like nowadays, except the extra thing of like, okay, check all the RCS nozzles for thrusters, like things that for space as well. Check seals, all that kind of stuff. And yeah. It gets to a point where there's nothing really else to do but just kind of settle in your kind of your seats in the ship, in the drop ship, which we kind of established was kind of like is kind of like a Hercules, like a C-130 or something like that. It's big enough that it has like space it has decks inside, like of space, and you're kind of shown by one of the like kind of. What would he be? He would be, I'm not sure what the title would be. He's the one that manages the cargo hold. I'm not sure what that, the term for that.
The Lodi.
Loading, yeah. But he shows you to, go ahead, Caitlyn. Sorry, I see you trying to talk.
No, it's for afterwards.
Okay, but yeah, you're shown to a room kind of near the cargo hold. It's on the bottom deck of the ship, and it's just a room of like crash couches. So you've got maybe like say 10 seats, 5 on each side on this small compartment, and they're just like they've got a harness. Multi-porn harness, and even just like an actual like roll cage that goes on over top. Like it's made for travel like in space, and like rough going if you don't have anywhere else to be on the ship. Like it's for passengers and that kind of thing. So you're shown there, and then they tell you this is where you're going to be during the actual flight down, and we'll give you an intercom warning. We'll give you an intercom message whenever you're supposed to go out, and then he shows you like which ones you can tell which ones your Max, shows you the ladders and how to get on and get off and everything like that, and tells you everything's been booted up and ready, so they're going to be ready to go when you get into them.
All right, sounds good.
When was everybody's last time planetside?
Relative time or real time?
Relative for us.
2 years ago.
Before I took this job, for sure.
Oleg starts counting on his fingers. 13 years.
13.
Yes.
Shouldn't Ursa be like, I know, some kind of medication to re-strengthen bones and things? Because
No, because one, genetic engineering and things like that exists in this time period, so things can be.
that explains the size of a bear. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. As well as artificial gravity doesn't necessarily exist in the use of like gravity plate. There are like centrifugal sections of ships and stations and other ways of getting, and thrust gravity is a thing. Like you've been on thrust gravity this entire trip. So there's ways around it.
Yeah, it's relatively good enough.
It's relative. You're going at about, and because you're at near light, there are some types of light, like inertial dampening going on, because near light thrusts, it would be millions of G's associated. But you kind of experience something about like probably anywhere between 7.5 to 9.5 G at all times when the ship's under thrust. And right now it's on a braking thrust. It's the fleet's braking right now, so you're all experiencing that, and you'll be going 0 when it's time to launch.
Is the gravity on this on the planet we're landing on, is that relative to our normal 1G?
Yeah, it's cradle standard, so it's pretty close, plus or minus a couple of percent.
Yeah.
It's
that couple percent.
It's if you because you have nothing else to do on your pad. If you like check out the planet a little bit, you do notice it's about 10% smaller than the cradle specifically, but it has denser overall construction, which kind of equals out, and various little random bits and pieces about the planet and its history. If you wanted to check out, like, you know, somebody who's going on an international flight and has nothing else to do because the actual infotainment system hasn't kicked on yet, so you're just passing the time. Sorry, didn't want to take over that RP moment.
No, Ursa will just say, 13 years, I think is right. Last time Planetside was on Perrowan 4. That was when we were signing over paperwork to start working for Neutron Conglomerated Holdings. And then due to the work that we were doing with that, we were not allowed to set foot in a normal gravity environment. It had to be properly maintained. So that was 13 years of the training. Had to see when things would settle before they could begin next experiments. Some of that was spent sleeping, not cryo-sleeping, just coma sleeping. Does that count as real time?
Sure.
Right,
That's a long time without a sky.
Yeah, I'd say coma sleeping counts as real sleeping because your body's not on ice. Your body's still producing stuff. So
then, yeah, 13 years is about right.
Fuck. It's a long time.
Yes. Will be experienced again.
Yeah. Just as a special thing, just so everybody's who knows Lancer and the lore in chat and watching and everything, so they can get a little feel for your characters. Are you so I'm just going to go down. Are you Cosmopolitan or Diaspora individual? So that the two differences is that if you're Diaspora, that means you're basically spacer. Most, like, that's where you were born and raised and stayed, like, in space the majority of the time. So individuals going on exploration or trading or things like that between the stars. Cosmopolitans are individuals who aren't that, so living on stations, planets, that kind of thing. What's Caitlyn?
Cosmopolitan.
Demon? This is like getting into like your work.
Okay, in which case, space, because my parents lived and worked on a mining ship.
Reaper?
Cosmopolitan.
Ursa?
He was cosmopolitan. Reaper was raised, or not. Ursa was raised planet side before he got into this the next leg of his life.
Yeah.
All
Fair.
right. Yeah.
Farm boy, born and raised.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's kind of like how you were raised. So definitely. So Demon actually would be very familiar with spaceship life, just in general. So this shouldn't be. And as a miner as well, that means the ship itself would just be parked next to a big asteroid sometimes, and so you'd be long periods of time without gravity or anything like that. So it's good to know for possible future zero-G things. So yeah, you have about probably 10 to 15 minutes while the final pre-checks and everything are done. As with most like major operations on a carrier, your ship's assigned a number, and they're going to take off in order. And you're not one of the first in the launch order, and they're just going to get everybody into a formation at some point, and then head to the planet. So you do notice after probably about a little bit of time after getting on board your dropship that things get lighter and lighter and lighter as the thrust is keyed down progressively, not immediately. So it kind of ease you into zero-G, probably like 0.1 like a second, or 0.1 every couple of seconds in terms of like lessening the gravity. So you just kind of it takes a minute. It takes a few minutes for it to get to null G. Okay. Cool. And let me just get my notes here. Correct. So yeah, if you want to, you can key into like the communications, like between the what is the name of the individual that directs traffic on an aircraft carrier? I am
Airboss.
Airboss. I'm talking about the actual acronym they have, but okay, yes. They're you can key into the comms.
He's the boss of the air around the aircraft carrier. It's pretty accurate.
I get it. Yeah, I know I got it. But you can like, if you want to, you can key in and you can just listen to your to the pilots, or at least the craft, like the lead and the air boss, like figure and like get info on what's going on, so you can kind of keep tabs on that.
Is there like a main communication channel?
Yeah, you can key into it. It's mostly just like status updates at this point. Like
I'll listen into that.
Yeah, it's like Sierra 4, you're in takeoff pattern 1, or it's just like giving like directions just generally, and it's talking about like, okay, first company 911 has been put into there, they're getting ready on their ship, everything the 911th and everything like that. So there's just realize, because those are random number generated, those battalion numbers, that actually is that's a weird number that spat out. I might change that. I might do an executive decision.
Attitude.
This is 10,000 years in the future. There is no association with that number in emergencies anymore.
No, I wasn't thinking about it being the acronym for the emergency number in the States. I was thinking about another major like date. But okay.
I missed the other number, so.
Yeah, I might change that. But yeah, so you can listen in on that.
The pilot's like, no, wait, wrong number. It's sorry, you misread the number on the read sheet.
Yeah, we're gonna call that the 915th. I'm just gonna go down with that one. That's better. So yeah, as you just kind of listen, strap yourselves in and get ready, all your gear stowed in like a gear stowage bin, either on your mech or like in this compartment, just however you wanted to do that. And at a certain point, you do have somebody come back in, one of the crew members just doing a final crew check making sure everybody's strapped in and ready to go before giving the final thumbs up, thumbs down to the pilot. And so they do kind of the standard. They visually just like check your connections and everything beforehand as you're essentially their responsibility as passengers. So checks your harness, checks your kind of the stabilizer bar and everything. Gives you good, like asking you like any issues, tell me now because it's goes through. That takes about a minute, and then he keys intercom and just says passengers green, and then off, and then he's out. So it's like you get a sense they're pretty well trained. I think if anybody had any issues or lingering notions, the problems with the crew, definitely giving you a lot that shows that they're not fuck ups at least.
Well, you see, I've been waiting on my my service for like 15 minutes. I thought my breakfast was supposed to come out, but
what do you mean? There's no lactose-free options on this flight?
What do you mean there's no soy-free cookie option?
This is hitting close to home.
That hurts.
Oh, great, dinner's here. Oh, I can only have the bread. Awesome.
That's debatable.
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta go through that, and then as your demon would probably get this. I don't know if anybody else was keyed into the general comms channel team, and you hear the aircraft billet number is like coming up, and they say CR2 ready for like get into your catapult, and you feel. It's weird because it's 0G, so you don't actually feel it the same way you would feel something in gravity in terms of like if you were in an aircraft or a car or something moving, it kind of you get. The change of momentum is kind of a thing from zero. You just kind of get pulled slightly along, like in the direction it's moving. And then when it stops, it takes you like kind of a fraction of a second to stop in your restraints because there's a little give in them. But then you all hear, Demon, it's overridden in your earpiece. You all hear an individual come on over your comms, it's an internal ship comm. Just a woman's voice coming through, and she's, "Hello, Hammer. This is your combat support specialist."
Demon, hey.
Hello, Demon. I'll be call sign CR2 Juliet for this mission. I will be in this aircraft for the entirety that you are on the ground. I will be providing ISR for all of you. I hope you're having a good day.
You got any update on what's on the ground for us?
We have some reconnaissance drones that were sent in a few hours ago. We got a little bit of information. Nothing pertaining to your specific drops. We do know that the cordon around the city is going to have a little bit more extra to deal with than previously. I'm trying to get information as fast as possible that'll pertain to our mission.
Appreciate that, Juliet.
Yeah. And line goes cold. Then,
Okay, so the perimeter is going to be a bit more busy. That might be a good thing for us, although it might be that they've got more troops on the ground than we expect.
Well, we're going to find out.
Rookies, stick to your partners. Follow their lead.
Caitlyn has lost all sense of communication and is just nodding or shaking her head at this point.
And then probably about, at least because Demon yours reverted back to whatever your previous channel was. It was like it was an override that was used for that, and you're just hearing. And okay, you've got about a minute before the ship is launched, and right around that time, or it'd be about like 2 or 3 minutes before the ship's actually ready to go. It's just clearing like the space in front of it. You all see at least like 3 other crew members come into the compartment, and they get into a crash couch basically on the opposite side of all of you. And they were all the individuals you saw managing like the cargo hold, and they just like sit down. And the last one gives like, yeah, just goes, First time? Looking at Caitlyn. Don't worry. Almost nothing ever happens.
That's not much help, mate.
There's a chuckle between the other two.
That's really not much help, mate. But, you know, could be worse, I suppose.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Pilot's
Aye.
good. Cap's great. You're good. And then they're all just kind of waiting. Like there's an awkward silence. It's the hotshot pilot to them, the hotshot pilots, and then these like kind of just basic, you know, deckhands are just kind of like forced to be in the same compartment together.
Would any of you like to switch seats?
You don't like your seat?
She means switch in so that she can be a deckhand while they go in a lancer.
Oh.
There's no extra play for that, so
I think I'm good. Like one of them, like a bigger guy says, I think I'm good with this. I seen what you all get up to in my last deployment. I'm good. The other two are just kind of like nodding,
smart.
like kind of the
aye,
more junior
Smart.
ones are kind of nodding.
aye.
There's tensions let out a little bit as they go, and then you hear kind of over the aircraft intercom just the individual that Demon you talked to. I don't remember if anybody else was there previously, but the actual like commander of the aircraft, not the pilot, but the individual who is in charge of everything, like the chief, comes on over the intercom and just goes, all hands prepare for launch. And then 10 seconds.
Pop. Go.
5 seconds.
Oleg
And
starts
then,
counting out loud.
Yeah, and actually it's pretty close, and then he keeps it keyed on for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love this
There's
part.
like it's like a quarter second of nothing, and then you feel like a jolt as the ship and its catapult engage, and it just goes.
It starts
goes flying,
cackling like an idiot.
and you're all just kind of along for the ride at that point, and acceleration goes on for like the acceleration isn't like for a long time. It's only for like maybe a second. Then because you're in space, you don't feel anything after it's done accelerating, as there's no change in acceleration, so it just goes immediately back to nothing until like a couple of seconds later you feel like the ship moving around you slightly as it starts maneuvering under its own power. And I just want to illustrate for everybody who isn't a sci-fi nerd and everything like that, you don't move with the ship when you're in 0G. The ship moves around you. You kind of just stay in a place, and unless you're locked down to something, the ship just moves around you. So while you are strapped down, there is give, so it's always slightly delayed whenever you're moving. It kind of like, if you're not used to it, it can really throw you off.
The closest thing you could compare it to is being on a roller coaster. When you have those moments where it's like the sweeping is coming over, like you feel going up and the roller coaster pulls you back down. That's sort of close to what you're experiencing.
Yeah, and for everybody like me who doesn't like roller coasters, you can also get a little bit of that from being on an elevator going from a high floor to a lower floor. And
Yeah.
you feel that like lessening. Yeah, a very fast one, like one of your modern elevator, or an elevator that doesn't have a lot of, like an older one that hasn't had a safety check in a while. So it's a little faster than it should be. Yeah. So yeah, you all feel that, and then Chief comes on and goes, all right, everybody, crew, you are free to move about the ship. Passengers, please stay in your designated areas or your designated compartments until you are given the green light. You hear the key off, and then you see all the 3 deckhands kind of unstrap themselves and everything. And 2 junior ones start like doing the thing. They don't walk; they just kind of push off one of like a bar or something like that and move through the open kind of doorway. The last one catches himself before it goes and looks back over it, specifically Caitlyn, but he's talking to everybody and just goes, "Good luck out there."
Thanks.
Cheers, mate.
Yep. And then he kicks off and he's out.
I'm going to have a float for a bit. It's been a while since I've been in 0.
I'm going to take a nap.
Yep. I've always wanted to be in space, like just generally, but I always wanted to sleep in space. I want to know what that's like because that's got to be weird. It's got to be like,
according to a lot of people, it is weird who've done it. It's very strange.
yeah. Obviously, yes, you need constant airflow or you're going to die of suffocation from CO2, but.
As someone who suffers from inner ear problems, where the inner ear basically starts to malfunction and it forgets that it's stationary, it is a nightmare. I imagine because you do not have that you don't have that sense of security of being stable. So each jostle with your inner ear would make you feel like you are constantly being moved in a way that is not voluntary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's strange considering the fact, say if you're on the International Space Station, you're never actually stationary. You're moving at 17,000 miles an hour.
Yep.
Well, in the space station, they also, when they go to sleep, they also like tuck themselves into like a little closet so they don't move around while they sleep.
It's a cocoon, like a sleeping bag against the wall, and they have to have a fan pointed directly at their face the entire time they're sleeping, like it's a little HVAC or something like that that is pushing or moving air. Because if they don't, there's nothing that moves air around.
Yeah.
See, this is the problem. As a space nerd, I really want to go to space. As a claustrophobic, I have no interest in going into space.
You are not a claustrophobic by the traditional sense, though, Red. You are claustrophobic by people.
True.
You've been in really small spaces and you've had no problem whatsoever. But the second you get into a large crowd of people, then you have problems because you can't get out.
Let's be honest. There's like what 7 or 8 people on the IIS at any point. I think.
I think you'd be okay.
Honestly, I think space would be like the least anxious you'd ever be in that case because space is so like the closest you get to is being in the middle of the Pacific, like in the dead zone where nobody's near you. Just like as
perfect,
separated as you possibly can be.
Peace, quiet.
Yeah, that's what you call unplugging.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So yeah, Caitlyn, you unlatch your you unlatch your harness, and the kind of the bar goes up once you give it like a you have to like key like a switch or something like that so that it actually unlocks on its own. Otherwise, it's pretty steady. Like this thing's made to make sure like it has like if the harness fails, you still got the bar keeping you in. If the bar fails, you still have the harness. So it's like both have to fail for you to die to go flying. So you undo all the safety things and you're just floating in space. There are minor course corrections that continue to happen, and so you definitely notice them as like you'll get like moved across the room a little bit. But this is a spaceship, so surprisingly, this is a spaceship designed for combat maneuvers in 0G. So just like on the main ship, which I don't think I've conveyed enough, there's a lot of padding kind of everywhere. If there's a bulkhead or a surface that's flat or juts out from something, it's got like an inch of like just soft padding on it. It's made like it's kind of like one of those like stereotypical old like rooms they'd put people in an asylum. Just like there's nothing that can hurt. You can't hurt yourself on a wall here. You'd have to try pretty hard. So
you could bang your head on one of the bar.
Yeah, even that's padded, but yeah, it's made to be as safe as possible for travel here. But yeah, Demon, you just kind of like let go. It's an active like environment, so it's the constantly moving air. So you just kind of like honestly just let go, and you just start everything just starts floating, kind of like you were in just basically water. Like you just don't feel anything. And Caitlyn, you're just having a float. What are the other two doing while you wait?
Oleg is doing runs. He has basically pulled himself out of the harness. He's gone to one side, and he is basically just ping-ponging back and forth along the hallways, just practicing stretches. Not actual stretches, but stretches as in like distance movement.
Okay. Red had a bit of an issue.
Red, we're back in a second. Discord crash is resetting now.
Got it.
Apologies for those on the video side, but don't worry about it. It's only
it'll be fixed in a second.
It's not a horrible one.
Now you've got like Mikey as Red Moogle, so you know it's almost the same thing.
Almost.
It'll be fine. So yeah, you're just doing your little exercises in 0G off to the side and everything, which totally fine. You can obviously. I didn't think about that, but you can. Though it would be kind of basically just like on an exercise bike with 0 resistance on.
Yeah.
You're like, you kind
Yeah,
of just, like,
it's-
you're just doing it to move at this point.
It's less about training muscles and more about training your mind moving at 0G, because if you fuck up moving at 0G, you might find a situation where you just can't move anymore very effectively. You got it's picking a point you want to go to and getting there, and just doing that over and over and over again for practice.
Yeah, practicing trajectory.
Yeah,
and stuff.
this is essentially what it's doing.
Yeah, no, I get that. Actually, funny story. There is a place on the ISS, even though you wouldn't think so, it being so small. There is a single place in the ISS where if you put somebody and then let go and move away, there's no way for you to get out because there's no handlebars or anything to latch onto. It's a complete dead zone of just everything, and they put new people on the station in there as a joke sometimes, and they have videos of it. And you just see somebody just like running or trying to grab at something, and they're trying to move, and they're totally like nothing.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Quick mic check. Testing.
Robot.
It's a little robot-y, but I don't know if that's just because you joined in and it takes a little bit to catch up with your system sometimes, or...
Restart.
Means a restart.
Okay.
That's fine.
Technical difficulties.
Wouldn't be a component cast stream without some issues.
It
Wouldn't
would
be
not
Tuesday
be.
Crew stream without that. We are known for these. So hey, Mikey, you're getting like a full like kind of trial by fire with it.
Really,
Hey, at least
really.
it's on my side.
Yeah, that's true.
No, this gives you all the time in the world, Reaper, to go into what you're doing while we're waiting on the dropship.
Reaper is listening to music. That's it. He's sitting in his seat listening to music.
Well, that burned all of 5 seconds. What else do we got?
Yeah. Well, is Reaper listening to it on headphones, or is he listening, or is he like, or is it like the helicopter scene in Predator? He's just got the music on and open, and it's just like playing music.
No, it's headphones. He's not an iPad kid, or whatever the equivalent would be for whatever year it is.
You know?
Probably like hard light data slate to this point, where it's just like a tube that you push a button and it just slides out and displays
true.
directly in front of you.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, holograms would exist, so you can just like that's your interface to your eye, your like eye, etc. Or eye, like your
Just your
iPod
pad.
90 or something like that. Yeah, your pad. Just like projects something, and you just have controls and dead and like empty air above your wrist or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just listening to music while waiting for like, the headphones to be taken over by the intercom to tell him time to drop sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, no, you kind of give that, and you just see everybody else doing like their thing. You see demons taking a nap. You see Oleg doing kind of random trajectories to various areas in the compartment, which isn't that big. It is made to make it easy enough for people that are passengers who may or may not necessarily be used to space to be able to get somewhere. So there's no dead zone here where you can't get out of, but see that there's enough room that he wouldn't get in the way. And Caitlyn is just floating around, just kind of like, I'm assuming Caitlyn's just very relaxed, like there's zero like muscle tension, and just kind of like letting it go.
Yeah, I think so.
By the way, sounds fine. Yeah. And so you've got a couple of minutes of that. Every so often you do hear like the crafts captain or the chief. I'm just gonna call him the chief. It comes on the intercom, and he'll just give you like a couple like a little warning. Just going doing like sharp bank to the port side, and then you'll feel it doing a bank, and the room will change around you. Basically, they're just trying to keep anybody up to date in there, but it's not combat maneuvers. They're not warning you of like, it's gentle. Or as gentle like it can be. You're all still moving at the speed the ship's moving at. So, like, you just don't feel that speed, which is probably a couple thousand kilometers per hour or something equivalent, because you are in an orbital like path. So I'd say after about 5 minutes, you hear the override kind of key up in all your headphones, and you hear, Hammer, this is CR2 Juliet. Just giving you an update on what I've been passed down from above me. Your landing zone is not 100% clear, but it is alight. From what we can tell from our drones, there is minimal enemy activity in the immediate area. Expect potential vehicles. We have not detected any bipedal, mechs, or otherwise. Infantry movement is not confirmed at this point. Resolution is a little too low from what I'm getting to confirm or deny anything.
Copy, Sierra. Demon says without opening his eyes.
Then override shuts off. But is Demon still listening into the general comm? Yeah, so not really, just resting your eyes, not really sleeping, just keeping.
Yeah, I said napping.
Aware.
You just basically that kind of you shut everything off. You can't do anything. You're strapped in the back of a freighter, basically.
Yep. Yep. And so you get that info. And I'd say you've got about 20 minutes of this kind of routine as the ship just does its normal. Either you get a sense from at least probably Demon would know. Demon, and I would also say Ursa would know, or no, actually all of you would know. Demon, Reaper, and Ursa would know. This ship's getting into a pre-designated position. It's either in a formation or something from the way it's moving. You're not directly going to your site at this point. Like everything's, you're in a pattern, and then everybody's kind of moving around. Like the air controller of the carrier is making sure everything's kind of managed at this point. You're in a track or something. I say you got about 20 minutes of that, of nothing else happening. A couple of times you do hear Juliet key up, not in an override, but she goes to each individual person and she just double checks, like, are you good? Like checking everything, as she is your handler for this. I would say both Demon and Reaper are familiar with the policy. Mech units are usually assigned somebody who is not directly in combat to provide kind of general ISR, but also management. So she'll be your go-between for everything. Anything above like direct combat, like somebody you can see. So if you need air support or you need information or info, she'll be that. But she also does. She would also be responsible for making sure you don't have a mental breakdown or make sure you don't run out of ammunition on the field or something like that. Just your handler. So she goes down to everybody. Yes, Caitlyn. Or Spanner.
I've just remembered, just to let you know, when Reaper trained Caitlyn, the point that she got from that for the mission has gone into agility.
Cool. So remember, you have advantage. You have an advantage on agilities checks, which basically just means you have an extra plus. You have an extra D6 on agility checks for this mission. Okay, and those you can get multiple of those for a check. By the way, if there's like you have that, and then you, for some reason you also get an advantage for something else on the field, you can get an advantage 2, which means you'll throw 2 D6 and the D20, and you take the highest of the D6s. That's how it works here. So same thing with disadvantage and everything. They can stack, but they cancel out 1-to-1. So if you had if you had that and then you had a disadvantage for something, you would have just a D20 to roll. That kind of thing. Also, just to update everybody as well, when we were just doing basic checks for role playing and everything like that, you can use the grit stat on your character sheet to roll with, as that is technically what you should be doing with it for pilot stuff. So pilot narrative, there's a grit stat there that'll go up as you go up in license levels, and that way you can also apply things like advantage, disadvantage, or anything else to the roll. So just so you know, we were correct on using the skill triggers the way they were, though. Just to update everybody. So yeah, But yeah, she goes in. She'll so with Caitlyn, she just checks in. Spanner, this is CR2 Juliet. You all good?
As good as I can be.
Okay, let me know if that changes. You'll be fine. Keys off.
Sure.
Yeah. Keys on. Ursa, CR2 Juliet. You good?
Hearing the headset, Ursa will pop back over to his seat. He's gonna shuffle it on his ear and says, "Oh yes, Ursa is very good. When do we get there?"
There's a little bit of a traffic jam right now around the ship, from what I hear. So once they get that worked out, you'll be on your way. I'd say less than an hour.
Okay. Ursa's gonna settle himself back down and start to strap back in.
Yep. You hear that and goes to everybody. It goes to Reaper and said, Reaper, CR2 Juliet, you good? Any issues?
Hey, Sierra. Yeah, I'm good. Nothing of note.
All right, good. We got about an hour.
Copy.
Keys off. Demon, this is CR2 Juliet. You good?
Yeah, I'm good, Juliet. We any further information down south?
Nothing as of now. We're a bit of a traffic jam around the ship, so hurry up and wait. Pretty normal.
Any feedback on the others? I'm guessing you spoke to them first.
Nothing I can see so far. Keep an eye on the two newbies. I'm going to be using you as my primary contact for the combat group during this mission.
Copy that.
Good.
Demon
Keys
out.
off. Yep. And then, kind of nothing. Oh, go ahead, Caitlyn.
Caitlyn's just going to get back into her seat.
Okay. Yeah, nothing comes on over the intercom for a bit, and then you feel the kind of shift in a way that wasn't warned, and then Chief comes on, just goes, all crew and passengers, we are about ready to do a high G maneuver and go on our insert track. Please strap yourself in at the nearest crash couch. You've got 1 minute. Keys off. So everybody straps in. You don't see any of the cargo crew come in. You assume they might have less robust couches in the car hold just for this kind of stuff. And then about close to it starts, you get the countdown again. It seems you all that have been in the military, actually basically all of you who have been in a ship before, it's exactly normal standard procedure. So whoever's in charge of this craft immediately gives everybody warnings when there's high G maneuvers, and you feel the ship proper take a maneuver that's pretty hard. It reorients itself in a direction and rolls and then thrusts. So it's moving its orbit. And it lasts for a lot longer than the takeoff did. It's either, from what you can get a sense of, because you're not necessarily situated in a thrust gravity kind of orientation, because this is an aerospace craft, so it is made to also be in regular G. You can get a sense that you seem to be braking, at least in the general orientation of the ship's aerodynamic structure. I would say if anybody wants to, they can make a grit check. I would say everybody but Spanner can do it with advantage.
$22.
Jesus.
Oleg lives for this stuff. He was born to do this stuff.
17.
11.
17
Advantage in this system, Rival, means, so if you click the grit, the roll button, it pops up a little thing. Click accurate. That's what I meant. You get 1 accuracy.
Yeah.
And then roll. Because what that means is you roll a d6 with the dice, and it adds to the roll.
So it would be a 1 plus a d6 instead of a 2 dice rolls.
Yeah. Well, I would just say just roll it again. I just want everybody to be aware of the system. So on your character sheet, on your pilot narrative tab, there's grit with a little d20 icon there. You click that, It'll open up a panel that lets you have control of like any bonuses or anything with the roll. You have an accuracy that you click, and then you click roll. This will make things a bit quicker during combat, so everybody's familiar with the systems. No, you're fine. You were muted, but I got the sense you were saying sorry.
Okay, so I click grit.
Yeah, and you see a little box pop up on the bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
That's okay, and then press the accurate +1, and then roll at the bottom of that little pop up.
Oh, got it. Sorry. Yeah, there you go.
1. See, you rolled a you rolled. Well, it doesn't tell us exactly
21.
what you rolled, but
21.
You got a 20.
If you click
21.
it, it'll actually break it down for what dice were rolled.
Yeah, you got a 16 and then a 5.
I got a D20, a D6, and
That's it.
KH1.
H1. That doesn't. That's just how it's acronymed here. But yeah, so you got. But yeah, you got. So everybody succeeded with that who took the roll. So cool. You all know what's going on right now is most likely you're on a deorbit burn right now. This is your final track. So once this thrust is over, everything else is going to be slight adjustments or evasive maneuvers. So it's a deorbit burn from interstellar speeds, or at least what was left of the ship's kind of braking. So this might take a while. The vestiges of star travel are just, yeah, it's a really big thing that lasts a long time. we're on a burn, and that means we're going to be this. So basically, you're just going to feel this kind of like off kilter to you and like your mammalian brain, just deorbit thrust for probably, I'm going to say 10 minutes, honestly, of this thing just bleeding speed and getting it correct.
I'm just gonna. Well, we've all played Kerbal Space Program. We know this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
We're all about to blow up.
We're all about to run out of fuel and be stuck in a decaying orbit around Jewel.
What everyone doesn't know is that Harrison, his actual name is Jebediah.
Oh no, we have Bob, Bill, Jeb, and what's her name?
Valentina.
Valentina. Yeah, we got it. I hope Blake has played Kerbal, because that's.
I have not. I'm the one person who hasn't.
We can pack it up, send it home. Pack it up.
It's an interesting idea, but it's one of those games like that requires too much math for me.
See, I hate math.
It doesn't require enough. It doesn't have enough math for me.
There needs more math.
But yeah, so you're in a deorbit. It's going to be about 10 minutes of this directly. You're getting periodic updates from Juliet, just checking in, making sure everybody's good. Also updating you on your mechs as well. After probably about 5 minutes of this, she does key into each individual. Again, I'm not going to go through it, but she tells you she's directly connected with your mech. And will be for the mission. And she's also giving you, like, saying, okay, your reactor's hot, you're good to go. And just goes through each of your mechs. She knows the call sign. So everything's good. And she also lets you know that you can double check everything on your own personal equipment during this. She says it's going to be about a half hour before really you can even think about going in to the cargo hold and board. So and she's also lets you all know if you need any other information about the rest of this or the fleet. I have not a lot to do and a lot of time on our hands before we actually get to what we need to do. So I'm willing to give you those updates. And then her mic keys off, and then you get the standard tone that keys off, letting you know that she's not directly connected to the chat, but she can be contacted.
Are we all landing together, Juliet?
You should be. We're going to be. It's a pretty quick and low, so there's no chance of us having any deviation. Ship's only going to be about 100 meters, if that, off the deck during its pass, and it's going to be going fast. So you're going to be dropped in, and we'll just say your free fall is going to last about 10 seconds before you get into your landing orientation.
That's the fun part.
Just enough time for a quick prayer to the one, then.
Indeed. Not a religious woman myself, but I
If you're so
understand
inclined.
it.
No, neither am I, but, needs must.
Well, as the good book says, welcome to the real.
Oleg kind of looks in his face like, I don't remember reading that line, but I could have been mistaken.
It's a paraphrase. I think it's welcome to the world of the real or something like that, but I don't pay
The
much
only
attention.
line I remember from the good book is payback is a bitch.
Yeah, that's true. That one is true. Isn't it great? And then keys off again. I'd say probably after the deorbit burn, all the lights go off for a second and then come back on in kind of a soft blue. And then Chief comes on over the intercom. All right, everybody, we're in combat mode lighting. We are going to be going into enemy space in about 5 minutes. Be prepared for unplanned maneuvers and evasive action.
All right, everyone in your mechs.
Now, you're actually not supposed to be going in there until a while. You've got about a while before it's drop time. There, a crew member has come by and informed you with a plan at this point. Stay in the
There's a
room.
plan.
Well, at least for their side of it. You stay in the room until you're in the final, the final track to drop in, and then you get into your mechs then. They want you in a safe room during anything that might be happening, because your mechs are just flat packed, and if you ask,
You don't want to
they
be in
say,
0G when your mech gets blown off of the ship and you're just in space.
yeah, that would be an issue. Also, it's the fact is, it's a very small compartment. Not all of the mechs are made for 0G stuff, so there's going to be sharp corners sometimes, and basically they run it down to you, and it's like the straps and everything holding them down is really good, but if something happens and you're in one of those things and it's free floating, that makes it a hell of a lot harder to get it back to where it needs to go without hurting you as well. So we need you to be here until then. And he goes, I know it's boring. It's one of the junior members. You've seen before. I know it's boring, but just try. And it's scary because we don't know what's going on either. There's no windows down here. We'll get through this. We're not in the fleet right now, and they're going through a hell of a lot worse. So
Any word on how the mechanized infantry is doing?
well, they're behind us, so they're still deorbiting, I would assume, if everything went well. Their ships are a lot harsher in how they do things, so
Yeah.
probably not great.
You get used to it.
They'd be in rooms like this, like long, thin rooms, 30 to a compartment or something like that, and sardine cans. So you're lucky.
It is not so bad. You really stretch your legs in your trajectories.
And yeah, they'll come by and give you all that stuff, but the crew chief does come on and kind of basically, there is no fasten seatbelt sign, but does say, okay, everybody get to the nearest crash couch for the next little while. I'll give you the word when you're free to go about the cabin. And then nothing Juliet continues to give you updates and kind of time estimations and everything like that. There's a couple of things like one of the ships fell out, engine issues. They'll be back in a bit. Delay for 5 minutes, kind of thing, or just general updates. After about, I'd say about half hour after being in this compartment cooped up, you do get an update from Juliet saying, all right, main fleet has been confronted by an enemy ship, so there's active combat going on in the area. We should be okay as a minor target, so I wouldn't expect us to encounter anything major until we get in the atmosphere.
Would Oleg know? Would that be unusual?
Not necessarily. Space combat is not how we would think of it in sci-fi, in the sense that it's not like two naval squadrons coming to each other and doing broadsides or anything like that. It's usually either kind of a lightning strike where two sides are going at orbital velocities in opposite directions, and you get maybe about 10 seconds of viable combat time.
I watched the videos on how boring spacer would actually be. Yes, it's more of we jumped into system. Maybe we just weren't told, but I don't remember hearing any reports about there being enemy vessels orbiting the planet. So if we've only been here for 2 days, that would have been.
You've been decelerating, and you only entered system a little while ago, a few days ago, proper or cloud entered system. But you wouldn't have been directly informed about enemy ships.
Sure.
Really. Okay. That would have been a crew kind of thing. I guess Demon might have heard about it from his shipboard security friend, but that wasn't a question Demon asked at all. But no, if you inquire about it, Juliet says it's been spotted before. Now it's not that big of a deal. It's a small detachment, small flotilla. We didn't think they didn't actually do anything. They're pretty well outnumbered and outgunned, but seems they're pretty fanatical.
Oleg just shakes his head and says, "They never tell us these things."
Isn't that the truth? And keys off. And then the other major space combat would be when both sides are fighting over a target or a stationary objective, like a system, in terms of a orbital body or something like that, or a station. And then that's more how we would expect it, slow fleets trading blows. If you'd like, Ursa, I can give you updates on what's currently going on out there.
I would appreciate that, yes.
I didn't want to bother anybody. So, yeah, she'll periodically give you updates. Say if you wanted to, you could have gotten familiar with the actual fleet during your time. The battle group is fairly large. But just calling out etc., general things that were going on. And yeah, you've got that for a while without any other major updates until you finally get the thing from the captain. All right, everybody. It looks like we're not being targeted, at least for right now. We are going to have about 30 seconds of rough seas, and then we're going to be in atmosphere. Hold on to your hats afterwards. Lancers, you are free to board your coffins. Unkeys.
Coffee, chief.
And then...
Way to make you feel better.
Yeah, it's gallows humor. It's to be expected.
Yep. And true to his word, it's pretty rough. None of us have truly experienced re-entry before.
No.
So basically, and the way I've read it described is, imagine going in a fast car that suddenly is stopping, but you're also experiencing turbulence on your plane. So it's just the two worst feelings possible as you're going through. So random shakes and jostles, and then also you're just feeling speed bleed away for a good half minute there until it starts evening out a little bit, and you feel actual solid gravity. kind of hits you as the decelerate. It's a weird thing. You're feeling decelerating, and then as that goes, you're also feeling like now gravity's coming in, and because you're kind of going in ass backwards at an angle, you're also experiencing it in kind of like a direction you're not expecting it from, and it's this weird like dichotomy of feelings until finally you're through it, and then there's a keying chime above, and the chief or Juliet comes in and goes, "All right, Hammer, you should be okay with getting in your mechs. Just strap yourselves in tight, and I'll give you an update when I know what's going to happen."
Copy, Juliet.
That's Spanner. Let's get you in your mech.
This
that bit I'm
is-
fine with.
Circa. This feels heavy. Been a while.
Yeah, like I said, normally if you're on a ship, it's just like it's like 3/4 of a G, like maximum, like just barely under 1 G. So, but that's like a heavy ship. So yeah, this feels a little heavier than you're used to.
He hasn't experienced actual gravity in 13 years. I imagine there's a distinction to it, even if you can't tell the difference, other than just like there is maybe.
It's I'd say, yeah, definitely. Roll a grit for me, just general.
Sure.
Just have him roll a grit.
Well, agree.
Just roll a grit.
19. Jesus, Oleg.
19. Yeah, Oleg does feel like a little weird about this, and immediately understands the reason behind it. Just kind of like thinking for a second, standing still. Even though you are on a ship moving right now, and you do feel like it's slightly jostling as it goes through some like choppy air or things like that. It's different in the sense that on a ship that's under thrust, no matter how good of an engine there is, there's micro variations in its thrust, like just as it's going, like it'll like percentile points like in either direction of either a little bit low or high and that kind of thing, which does mean that because of thrust gravity you'd feel those. Most people don't, like it just kind of, it's one of those things you just kind of like get used to it and you stop thinking about it after a while. This doesn't have that. It's 100% steady. There's absolutely no difference in how you're feeling, like your weight, like you don't feel like a sudden like oh, I got lighter for like a second or something like that. So yeah, Oleg immediately keys into that, and how he feels about that, and how he feels about that.
He will shake it off. It's time to get busy and time to get to work. He's going to focus on the task at hand. To the Lancers.
And yeah,
All right, let's load up.
you enter into the cargo hold. The 3 individuals you met before are in the midst of doing like final checks on the the actual catapults, or not catapults, but the actual like things that will release and guide your mechs out of the back of this bird when the time is like near. And you also see the junior one like is going through like they're connected to all of them. Like there's like a maintenance terminal like on the big structure your mechs are all flat packed into, and you see they're double checking all of your like descent systems, like the rockets that will slow you down, and like going through and make sure everything's green. Yeah, the chief goes, everything's ready. Cockpit should be warmed up.
Caitlyn jumps in. First thing she does is Juliet, Jean Grey comms check.
Comms good. And that comes through your mech instead of your earpiece at this point, you see. So
Oleg will get in his. Takes him like 2 or 3 minutes where he's like, Oleg is here. We are inside the coffin.
Little laugh. All right. Good comms. Ursa? And I think normal procedure, Juliet calls a comm check directly on to Demon and Reaper individually, as that is technically her job to make sure. So I would assume those two also would know that. So just
Hammer group.
checking both of you.
Everyone call in when you're ready to roll.
Banner ready.
Oleg spends a minute like talking in his cockpit before. Oh no, Ursa is here. We're good.
Reapers do ready to land.
We're ready to go, Sierra.
You have a like a readout, like one of your side panels, because you're essentially being assigned team leader for this. So it's a little like status symbol that's been like uploaded or put onto that screen, and you see little green check marks come in, and it does wait until Ursa calls in before it goes green. But yeah, because you have a comp con in your machine, don't you? Yeah, so it's intuitively figuring out kind of what you needed based on that, and it's figured that out. And yeah, you hear Juliet go, "All right, everybody, we've got about 10 before we're dropping. We're in final form at this point. Our 2 other Lancer units are to either wing."
Well, that's perfect because it's break time.
It is break time. Yes.
It's break time. We're breaking.
Break time. So everyone,
Break time.
go grab yourself a drink, go to the bathroom, get ready for our hot drop onto this planet. Let's see how it goes.
Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere, and if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch, and just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope from the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness. A radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. given extended access to a wealth of knowledge. With a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast.
system, but we're gonna have to test it in, live conditions
Hello,
now.
everybody. We are back. How are we doing?
Let us get to it.
Okay, we're back. So yeah, as we left off, you were given like your final, like, we're in the final track. We're going in. Message from Juliet, CR2 Juliet, your handler for this mission. The big thing that kind of changes is you definitely feel the ship as you're now no longer, you're in a steady track and everything, you're flying. This thing is doing random kind of micro like shifts in its flight path. You can feel like it's like moving a half degree one side and then a half degree down, a half degree right. Like it's like slight changes to its trajectory if it was being tracked as it's going in. Because you can't do you get a feeling this ship probably couldn't do like really high G or really like tight maneuvers in the atmosphere. This thing's more of a, it's more of a buff than it is a raptor.
Proof that you shove enough force to anything, it can fly.
For those who aren't in the know, that's a B-52.
Yeah, and
big,
buff
ugly,
stance.
fat fella.
Yeah. Well, I've heard
GTP.
different. Yeah,
Great.
It's
Big, ugly,
GTP.
fat fucker.
Yeah. The
You can
buff,
swear
the
here.
machine that'll never die because the Air Force doesn't want to lose them. It's gonna be around for 100 years before it's slated to go away.
Yeah, and you know what's going to happen then.
We're gonna
We can
refurb
upgrade
them.
it.
we're gonna refurb them. They'll be fine. We've already got them to fire
B-52B.
cruise missiles.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we've got them.
No, they're
what
on
is it?
H now.
They started in 1950.
That's 1953, I think, is when it.
That's
actually
when
came.
the B-52 first came out as a strategic bomber, and it's still in service today.
Yep. Now it
If it ain't
carries
broke, don't
cruise
fix it.
missiles.
It's older than my dad, is what we're saying.
It's older than my
It's
granddad.
older than some countries.
Yeah,
It's funny enough. It's older than some countries that it itself bombed.
it's true. This is true.
Yeah.
Teach those kids a lesson, I guess.
No
Yeah.
boy.
But yes, this is more of a buff than it is a raptor. But after a couple of minutes, Juliet comes in through the comms to talk to you directly, Demon. Which gives you the option if you want to key anybody else in on things, but she's giving you just a direct like a recon like estimate of the drop zone that she's now got.
I'll key that to everybody.
Okay, yeah, and she goes, okay, I got a micro drone above in a halo orbit around the drop zone, specifically where we're going to be putting you. You're going to be right next to a lake in a public park. There's a built-up area of, we believe them to be office buildings. So you shouldn't have to worry about civilian casualties or infrastructure at this point, though keep it to a minimum as per the op rod. And from what I can tell from the drone, there's some standard light vehicles in the area. I don't have direct eyes that I can give you an estimation on what they specifically are, but I estimate them to be light tanks or light or light armored infantry fighting vehicles / armored personnel carriers. But we are not detecting any infantry around there at this time. There are light contacts that we've spotted while other drones have spotted moving around the city. They do know that we are coming, but they don't seem to be keyed into the specific drop zones. So you probably have a good 20 or 30 minutes before anything heavier gets to you. So secure the zone and move out from there before those come. If they were, though, my signals intelligence tells me it might be it might be something like a remote piloted vehicle. Because we're not seeing any indications that there are active Lancer or Mech units currently deployed.
Copy that, Sierra. Which direction are we going to be traveling to get to our first objective?
You're going to be moving southeast from your drop zone.
Copy that.
And then it goes dead for a while. Juliet offers you a feed on the drop zone.
I accept.
That you can check. Okay. And then we'll just load this in. So Yes, Caitlyn? Yes, Spanner?
It's actually yes, red in this one. You
Oh,
said we
okay.
were dropping in the northeast and we're heading to the center, so surely it should be southwest.
Yeah, southwest. Sorry, I missed. Yes. No, I got those two reversed. Yeah, you're dropping in the southeast. You're moving. No, because you're moving diagonal in this way. Basically, you're going to the bottom. You're going to the bottom left.
Copy. I know where we are.
Yeah, and so you should have the map loaded in right now, and this is the feed you're getting from a drone. Actually, I can do this because that's the thing I now have, and I have the power to do this now. I can even I can give you. So this is like the feed you're given, like a small video camera in there. I don't know if even that went through. Probably. Maybe. There it goes. Yeah. So you provide that, and now you have access to this feed. If you have any questions about things, I will allow you to ask 3 things about here before you drop. Any questions for Juliet, because she can provide those. And you can talk amongst yourselves if you want to ask those questions, because they might provide you a difficulty or an accuracy, depending on.
Reaper, you're the sniper. Where do you want to go?
Not seeing anywhere with any massive sightlines.
And
not gonna-
north of the lake.
I'm not going to
Probably
be sticking
be-
around here for long, though.
Well, if you go and take span north of the lake, you can cover us down the streets.
Are those
Just point out
supposed to be
everything's
boulders?
labeled. Like, yeah, everything's labeled in terms of so if it has a 1, it's a height 1 thing. If it's a there's 1 half 1, 2. I think there's and 3, and things compound. So if it's on like one of these big pink ones that's a 1, and then on top of that that's like they go on. So that's how you can kind of get a sense. So like here with these 3 1/2 like bits and pieces of things on this building, that's actually 1 1/2 tall if it goes through here, because it's level 1 plus a 1/2 on top of it, kind of thing.
It's
So it
like
kinda builds.
air filtration units or whatever, aircon, stuff like that on roofs. Yeah.
Or like this one's just got like a big tower in the center, a couple of small other offshoot towers on top of the main structure, kind of thing. So that's how it goes. But like these orange ones are level 3s in terms of like height.
We are 1 then.
Yes, you'd be a 1. You can see over half. 1/2s provide cover and they don't block line of sight. 1s will provide cover, and I also don't believe they block line of sight.
If you're up against them and it's cover, then no. But if you're not up next to them, they do block line of sight.
Right. Yeah.
So I could hide behind any of these rocks up here and cover people with the sniper rifle while seeing through it. So that is an option for sure. But the question is how long are we going to be on this map? Because we have to head south. Well, to the bottom right of this map, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, bottom right. So that would be southeast.
Yeah. So I won't be able to really watch much once you guys get into the urban environment unless I follow. Which, because there's a lot of cover, obviously, with all these taller buildings and stuff.
Yep. So ask anything you want to ask, and that might give you some extra information or reveal things depending on what you ask. Basically, I'm giving you I'm giving you the ability to ask Juliet anything, and then she's going to roll on her side and provide you with extra info if need be. So you have 3 of those you can use. It's a mechanic I'm putting into the missions, but I think it's thematic. For ones where you have Juliet and pre-mission ISR.
Mm-hmm.
Juliet, are there any reinforcements that are within range of the city we should know about?
Is that I was going to let you all talk it, and so you don't waste a question or anything like that. Everybody good with that question? Yeah. Okay. Let me go ahead and roll for her. She has an advantage, or she has an accuracy on this because she is trained in this, and she has full video and radio for it. That's a natural 20. And let me just go ahead and roll a d6. That's a 1, but so 21. Not bad. So yeah, she comes back to you and she tells you, from what I can see in the local area, there are currently there's a light number of troops. This is one of the least protected areas in the city. You might potentially have a couple of those RPVs nearby if something were to happen and they were given enough time to get to you. RPVs would be a remote piloted vehicle. Anything from like an actual vehicle to like possibly a mech, but with no person inside, like a drone.
Oleg would, if that is a part of the same question, would ask, do we know which way they would be coming from?
Most likely, and I'm not going to, that'd be a part of the same thing, just giving you that. Most likely, if they were to be coming in, judging by my signals intelligence, they'd be coming in from the south side, somewhere along there. That's how the streets work out for them.
Okay.
Unless they were going to blaze a trail, but I doubt it.
So I'll say,
So we want to set up defensive positions while clearing out because the reinforcements are coming. We want to watch that way.
You have freedom to go about how you want to do the mission. Your directives are take out AA when you encounter it, but your primary is to take out a spaceport that you've been assigned. So, how you want to go about that, you can go about that.
Juliet, we've got multiple buildings that are 3 stories high to the south of the town.
Sorry, what was that? You broke up on my end for a second.
We've got 3-story buildings to the south.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any idea what those buildings are?
Best as we can estimate, office buildings or some otherwise storage. This is a commercial district, not residential.
Any static defenses in the area?
And that's your last one, if that's...
Oleg would ask,
Do we know if this area has already been evacuated?
I'll allow that to be a part of the second question, as like a further. I'm being very generous here. It's first mission.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
that goes a long way whether or not we should use these buildings for cover or not.
Yeah. From what she knows and what she rolled, we don't have any hard knowledge on that. We haven't seen a lot of foot traffic in the area or otherwise since we got eyes on. So either they're shelter in place or they're not there. As per your mission directives, minimize destruction of civilian property as well as civilian casualties while operating within a residential area. And as per your third question, do they have any pre-prepared defenses set up? Okay. From what we can tell, I don't see any in the immediate vicinity. If they were to be there, keep an eye out for taller buildings. A man with a rocket launcher is just as good at taking out a mech as another mech. And it's a hell of a lot easier to hide. Yes, and it's a hell of a lot easier to hide one.
Indeed.
And I'm just going to generally do one here.
This is the crew didn't ask the question I felt like was really obvious and important, so I'm just going to tell them something potentially.
Well, there was a thing she could have potentially given you. I've been rolling kind of what she's been getting on her side. There was one last I didn't roll for before the break, so I'm just going to give you this one, though. Everything. From the space battle going on right now, the engagement in orbit, we've gotten a little bit of extra information on the individuals we're fighting. As per the contract that we were given by our clients, this is a revolutionary state that took over from the local government that we're now, or the government that we're now working for. They seem to be very fanatical.
Well, that's good information.
So use that how you will and prepare accordingly.
All right, guys. Plan is we're gonna, from drop zone, loop around the north of the town.
Copy
We'll
that.
try and stay out of the streets. If it's a revolutionary army, as we've been told, we don't want to get caught in urban street fighting, especially with all those tall buildings around that could hide single troopers.
Your objective for this map, because that is a thing for Lancer, your objective is to clear out any AA emplacements that you may find on the map, this current one, and to exit this map in the southeast corner. Southeast corner is like, it's basically the quarter of here. So everything.
For our Sandy Roach, could you, somewhere on this map, like in the top corner or something, show us what one of these would look like, theoretically? Assuming we would know one when we see one.
The what?
The AA emplacements. What would one look like if we were to see one?
If you were to find one, it could be just it could be a gun emplacement, could be a mobile anti-aircraft vehicle.
Well, I was meaning, like, if you were going to highlight one on the map for us to see later, if you could show us one now so we would know.
Right.
That's what I was asking. Yeah. What sprite
it
you
would be
use.
it'd be something like this.
Okay. That's what I was asking. Thank you.
Yeah. And also, just so you know, there are things on the map right now you can see that are enemies that you can see.
No. I saw those guys. That's why I was asking. Like, what are the odds of there being reinforcements? Because we can see a few, but we can't see beyond.
Yep.
All right.
Those are what you can see from your current kind of eye in the sky position there. Okay. And then with that, you kind of like ate up your kind of final approach time. And then as you get a little closer, the kind of micro evasive maneuvers take on a bit more urgency and kind of frequency as you go. You're not giving any warnings or anything like that. Like there's like a major issue. But you can definitely tell from your kind of inner ear, because you are laying down as this is going on, because you're flat packed. You can definitely feel you're going quicker than you were when you evened out to your final flight path coming in. So you get a sense they're letting you go and not stopping. Juliet calls in like the final approach. If things get really bad, call for extraction. The dropship can make an emergency pickup. Just know that if I judge the area to be too hot, you may have to relocate to a safer area. And that's my call.
Copy that.
Until then, we'll be in a halo orbit above the city, far enough away that we won't be in danger. But I'll still be in contact with all of you during that time. And then with that, I'm just going to go ahead and take this filter off. Okay. And so, yeah, the ship comes careening in. Careening's probably not a great word for that because that implies something. Yeah. The dropship, which is what it looks like, by the way, just in case we ever need it again, comes racing through, and you're given like a countdown displayed on your cockpits as it's still connected to kind of like hard connected into the ship while it's in its little kind of packed cradle. It's giving you a countdown and kind of like countdown to brace positions. and then you feel and you hear kind of the chief counting down. All right, Lancers, 10 seconds. 5, 4, and then it goes quiet, and you just see it on your screen going, and then there's a kind of like it's muffled because it's not in your cockpit, it's outside the cockpit. And while these things are yeah, probably still, because it's a loud one. I was gonna say they're hermetically sealed, but it doesn't matter. It's cooler this way. You hear like a siren, the door is opened at this point, but you hear like it's basically like a warning to anybody on the like cargo floor to clear the way, like a warning siren, and then you are free. The mechs are let go, and then they are like flying out in like a sequence. So the first one out would be the one at the bottom, and I'd probably say that's probably Oleg, and then it goes, Demon, Reaper, and Spanner at the top, and you're all out. You got about 10 seconds of free fall, where you're just feeling nothing, and you're kind of in your position, and then everything kind of automatically goes into like a up-down orientation, and then you are like immediately slowed down in your descent, and you feel like a gentle like rock down as it hits the ground. And you see from your cockpits the area from ground level. I'm just gonna go ahead and take off this dropship for a second, and I'm gonna put you down where you landed. That's not right. Hold on. Should have my identity. Appearance. Oh, okay. No, I get it now. Oh, damn, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I saw what you did there. Oops. Minor technical difficulties. Nothing to worry about. Just
Don't worry about it. I get it. It's fine. It's fine.
Things were updated, but the things that were updated were not updated where they needed to be updated. So everything is where it needs to be, just not where it needs to be when it needs to be there. Does that make sense? No, it's okay. I'm just ad-libbing so you all don't pay attention.
No, it's fine because I did label these. I did label these. It worked, so that should be good. Okay, yeah, that works. Token. So
I, as a DM who has also done things like this, I knew exactly the second that started. I'm like, I know exactly what problem this is. Yep, it's fine. Okay, everything's going great. There we go.
I put the image in the wrong section, and I had to update. And then I updated it on the character sheet for the mech, not the other way around for the token. So I've got that. But good thing I actually labeled these ones, so I know where these are. So I just need to double check. Gray area.
It's fine.
Is
the drop is just taking a little longer than we anticipated.
Yeah, still, things are booting up.
The loading screen is taking a bit longer. We didn't put it on the SSD.
Yeah, the loading screen for the deployment. Yeah, you just got the cutscene done, and now it's like a Kojima thing. The cutscene took a really long time.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour cutscene to start the game, and you're there like
15 minutes of gameplay. Yeah.
You've stood up from your computer. You've got to the bathroom. You've made dinner. You've come back, and still the cutscene is playing.
Nothing will beat the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 4, where you're literally just watching like commercials on TV in the future, and then you get to like the truck just kind of driving along, and he ggets off, he literally runs around the front of the truck, and it plays another 3-minute cutscene.
Yeah.
Like, you get to play for all of 10 seconds before it just plays another 3-minute cutscene.
That does sound like Kojima, to be honest.
Kojima at his best.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 4 was a game. It's the best I can say about it. It was a game.
It was a game of all time.
It was a game that was complete, which I guess is different than 5.
True.
Yeah, it was so complete that the final cutscene took half an hour or longer?
More, I think.
Yeah.
I think if you look up the final cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 4, it's actually nearly a movie length. Like, it's actively nearly like an hour long, I think.
It's a lot.
A really long one, yeah.
It's a lot. Okay. Appearance, everything.
Things we talk about trying to fill time.
Get there, guys. I'll get there. I'm a veteran DM. Did you know that?
It's a new platform, so
I've been doing this for near 20 years. Okay. Oh God, that means I'm gonna have to. Does that mean I have to, or did this update? Oh, thank God. I don't need to do that for the. I don't need to do that for the NPCs.
The final cutscene for Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots is an hour and 21 minutes long.
The movie.
Yeah, it's a movie. Yeah. It's a movie.
It's a full-length movie.
Spoilers, I guess, for a game that came out on the PlayStation 3. You want to know, like,
the spoilers? How long the
50
movie?
minutes
Like
of that is some guy is like saying, "I'm gonna die," and then it's 50 minutes of him on the process of dying. And there's like 5 times where he's like, "Ah," and goes to a progressive state of death. Like his state of death goes up 1 level. Essentially, it's like so bad.
It's impressive.
Okay. Yeah, no, it is. Okay, so yeah, you deploy. That's where you land. We're gonna go into actual combat, like encounter here. We're gonna go into that like time. So, just going to. I think I can load all of you into combat. Yes, I can. Okay. And so the way combat works in Lancer is it is not a set like you roll an initiative score and then that initiative score you roll through for the entire duration of combat. It is more fluid. You can pick within your side when you want to go. You discuss it amongst yourselves and saying like, okay, we need Ursa to go first to do this, and then we're going to have Reaper go second because they're going to cover that, so that way we can get it before Spanner and Demon do this kind of thing. You strategize every turn, essentially. It's not set in place. And it's more of a I go, you go. So you'll go first, and then all the enemies will go. I think is...
How many hexes can we move a turn?
Well, that would be on your sheet. It'll be usually like a movement score or something like that.
Speed is the speed.
Speed.
Yeah,
yes,
mech
it's the
stats
speed.
on your mech page.
Okay, it goes. You still agree, but it's still an I go, you go in terms of like you work amongst yourself who's going, and then I'm just double checking. Yeah, it'll go, we're going to have Reaper do this, and then I get to pick an enemy that does something, and then it goes that way. But there's no set thing, so it's not a full... I was misconstruing one of the other systems I'm reading about, where it's an all team go thing. But no, so you get to pick who goes in what orientation.
All right, so argument's sake, we decide that Reaper's going first, and then we go, oh, wait a minute, that tank's done that last turn. Ursa, you go first, and then Reaper can go after Ursa.
Yep, and in between that, a hostile NPC would do something. Yep. That's how it works. So you start from what you know, because you can key into your ISR at any point in time, or at least like a video feed. There are 3 enemy vehicles in the area. One of them, I think you'd have line of sight on. All of you are size 1 max.
Yeah.
So essentially, whatever is your size or taller in terms of height level blocks your line of sight. So like a size 1/2 thing would be blocked by these shrubs or these like little mini rocks, and your size 1, so any of these trees or boulders will block your line of sight. But a size 2 mech wouldn't. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
The only difference is in stuff like there's a couple of other like tags, which are just like big units, like area wise, but very short. And there's a couple of those that exist. But yeah. So what do you all want to do with your turn? I'm going to also add the enemies into this as well, because they are aware of your existence. Your presence. Yes. And we will start combat.
So do we think Demon and Ursa should go first? You muted, Raul.
I was thinking if you and Spanner go first, if you run along the tree line that's just got that wall above us.
Yeah.
You might be able to get this light tank 1 at the end there.
I have a range of 20. I think it's 26 away, so...
Yeah, if you could move quick. You've got some half cover between you and it. You might be able to get a shot off before it ducks into the streets or something.
Yeah, I think that is still too far away. Yeah, my range is 20, so like that's as far as I can see. And also this rock blocks it, and this tree blocks it. So
You've got a lot of line of sight blockers in here. You're in a it's a not a very thick forest, but it's thick enough that you'd have trouble seeing that tank unless you probably drop down to here.
nah, this tree still gets in the way. There's no real way for me to see it, but I can at least keep myself out of line of sight and also have a pretty decent line of sight myself. So it's probably not a terrible idea to follow along that tree line anyway. Move up to there. Oh yeah, that's right. I think if you double tap or if you click and hold, it pings, so you can show people stuff.
Mm-hmm. Much easier than a couple of the other game systems we've played with.
Yeah, and I can also see you guys do all your measuring, so stop pre-measuring. God damn it. So yeah, do you guys think it's best for me and Spanner to go first then?
So, from what I know of your rifle, you have to commit to shooting that as the first thing you do on your turn. So we may want you to position yourself so you can get the best shot after they move.
Yeah.
If you can get to there.
To this spot here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a pretty nice range all the way to about there.
My max is on speed 4.
It take you 2 moves.
Yeah.
It's just a thought.
I know going into the city seems risky, but if you were to get up on top of one of these buildings, you would basically deny all the 1-by-1 sight lines and give you a lot more view throughout the entirety of here.
Yeah, I mean, if arguably if I could pop into here, like into this little crevice here, I'd have a bunch of cover around me.
Mm-hmm.
But and we're moving in that direction as is.
If you can do that, and we could get Spanner to go with you.
Yeah.
Cover your back, and me and Ursa can move into the towns.
What weapons do you have on your mech, Spanner? Because we probably would have known this before we jumped down.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I've got a howitzer.
Huh. Well, when in doubt, yeet it out. Yeah, I think Spanner and I sticking together, we can spot targets for each other, do all that sort of stuff. There is a tank in the city.
Yeah, that was what I was going to go for first, unless you can get it before I get there.
Don't necessarily think there's any way that I can spot it from where I am, but I can at the very least move into the city and take cover behind some of these bigger buildings.
Well, if you want to go for the one of the tall buildings in the middle.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is there, and then move from there to there. And I have jump jets, so I can get up on top of things pretty easily.
That works.
Okay. So who's going first?
Reaper and Spanner go first.
Right. So
how do you know if you got jump jets?
They were a thing I built into my mech. They were my system.
Yeah.
It is one of the specializations you can take.
It is a rapid burst jump jet system. It was a 2 system points cost. I wanted mobility in it.
You get your loadout when you look at your second tab on your character on your mech sheet. So mech / loadout. You have a flight system, so you can fly.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yep. You have a flight system, which was 3 system points. So you invested a lot in that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Which means all movement is flying, but you take size +1 heat at the end of any of your turns in which you fly. So essentially you build up heat when you fly.
Yeah. My one is just
2 heat.
Mine is just you can fly when you boost, however you much end your movement on the ground, because it's not a full flight system, it's just a beep. sort of
Or jump jets, yeah.
It's a jump jet. Yeah, you're hopping. So so Reaper, we'll say, goes first since you have planned out your turn, your movement already.
So I'm gonna go there. I
Okay.
can just change to that and drag and drop.
I need you to make a check.
What kind?
Well, I want you to roll. Just hold on 1 second here. Just so I can. I need you to roll a systems check. For spotting something. If you have a talent,
I do have spot.
Or you have spot.
I do.
Okay.
So roll spot.
You can do so. Yes.
Cool. 5.
Okay. So you don't see this before. This triggers. So you end your turn there.
Yep.
And what you see as you get closer to the that collection of buildings right there, before as you get there, you see movement, but it's too late for you to change course. And you see, obviously not to scale, but you see infantry in the buildings. And because you didn't see them beforehand, they're going to have an accuracy on this attack.
Right.
As this is they have an ambush ability that they are employing right now. Yes, ambush. So they're going to attack you. I have to.
Yeah, if you select their token and then target me.
Yeah, I have to move them down because
I'm underneath them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then target. No, I need to. Nope, wrong. I forgot how to do targeting.
It's the second one down on the right. The one that looks like a dartboard. So if you see, there's a little thing that's just popping up around them.
Yep. Cool. Well, actually, we don't see your targeting. So
right.
It's just that. But cool. Okay. So we got that. I'm just going to move them back to where they were before. So they're just going to attack you. They get an accuracy for this.
Cool.
So I just need to double check their stats because they are infantry, which means they have like a couple of random rules that are a big thing. Yeah, so you see lancing out of a couple of the building's windows, just rocket propelled warheads coming at you, and they're firing they're firing their anti-armor weapon at you. These little disposable like laws. And they have an accuracy.
The fire and run away type missiles.
Yeah, they're not like tracked or anything like that.
Yeah. Ooh. Ow.
Yeah, that was a natural 20. That was a natural 20, and they
from
that
the
was
D6.
It's a 1 from the D6. That was a critical hit. It did 5 damage to you as you essentially careen into this squad, this anti-armor squad, this anti-tank squad that was kind of weighing an ambush. And that's the end of their turn. So essentially, they get to interrupt on their first turn. They activate. So,
right. Well, there's a very loud interjection of foot troops in building as you see Reaper take a rocket to the shoulder. Yeah. Right. Well, I think I should turn around, or I have a shotgun. I'm holding a shotgun in my main hand right now. That's my main weapon.
They ended your turn when they came out. They immediately take turn priority at that point. It's essentially an ambush thing. That's how we surprise.
So I'm stuck where I am now. So it's your guys' turn.
Yep. Spanner, do you want to go? Well, you can actually now. This is the thing. You can then adapt on the fly. Who is wanting to go next?
Yeah.
On close quarters.
Go for it.
Okay. So
I've got
actually, Ursa, you're better situated to do this. You're closer than me, aren't you?
Yes. Yes.
Ursa's turn.
This is Ursa's thing.
So Demon's just going to say, everyone get to Reaper and support him.
Target identified. Shouldering the shotgun, Ursa goes bopping in to here. He is going to... I unfortunately don't have much in the way of other weapons that could be useful in this situation. Can I attack human-sized units with a sword?
Sure. The thing about infantry is the fact that they cannot benefit from any hard cover, but they always have soft cover against mech class weapons. Essentially, it's just they're just like hard to pin down because mech class weapons are the shotgun pellets.
They're
like,
made
the
to
size of
shoot bigger
someone's
things.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's but you could if you would like to. They are weak.
I don't imagine I have a penalty for being engaged with them, do I?
No.
Okay. Then he is going to move. He is going to take a full action to basically just fire a shotgun into the midst of the infantry, and then just basically swing up, grab a blade of the side shoulder, and just cleave it into the level of the building that they're in.
Okay. Make sure you click they have soft cover when you do your attack.
Yes. So I am having an issue remembering how we target is the problem.
You right click on the unit and then
right click on the unit. That's the problem I was having. Yes, we right click on the unit.
Yeah, I tried doing the like control click and shift click thing because I'm used to Fantasy Grounds so much. But,
weapons, shotgun. This is going to be a soft cover penalty, but I'm accurate with shotgun, so this is going to be an even shot.
Right.
That is an 18 to hit.
18 to hit, and you did 4 damage. So yeah, 18. Anything above 10 hits.
All right. So that's 4 points of kinetic damage as he just fires a shotgun basically into sections that these guys are hiding.
Yep. I'm just going to go ahead and open up the character sheet. Yeah, they take a. So yeah, they're hurt. I'll give you that. They're hurt. You see a couple of individuals as you shoot. You basically take a chunk out of one of the buildings where you see a good number of them kind of like scrambling to like maybe load another shell or maybe like another one of their laws like get them ready, and you fire and a couple of them careen to the ground from like the second story.
And to my knowledge, soft cover only applies a penalty to ranged attacks.
Yes.
So I do not have a penalty to my melee weapon. I just swing the melee weapon to see what hits.
Are you
that is
using
a 10. Yes, he is using a tactical melee weapon. I used a full action to barrage.
That's okay. Yeah.
To attack 2 weapons. Yeah. So that is a 10. I hit them for 7 more points of damage.
Things you love to see. That.
This is he may not be doing it in the body he's used to, but this is what Oleg was trained to do.
It's all just muscle memory.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how I can. I'm just gonna have to write this down. That's the one thing I don't think I like about this system is that spawning multiple tokens from one profile sheet does not automatically give the token like individual stats. It just uses the character sheet as its main stat. So
I will sit with you after this. I'll sit with you after this. There should be a way to do that, but
there should be. I cannot.
We'll have to figure it out. Yeah, we'll have to figure it out. Yeah. That's fine. These guys have taken 11 points of damage.
Yeah, they're dead.
Nice.
Because they got 10. So
Oleg just goes charging towards his building. He opens up with a shotgun, it's like clearing out a section of the floor, and then just stabs his blade into that floor, basically sweeps them out of the building outside.
Yeah, I think I'm doing this right. I've reread this entire thing, but it's messing with my brain because it's a new system, and this is now fucking with me. I'm pretty sure it's just an attack roll. I don't think there's any validators like on their side or anything, or like a 2-hit roll or something like that. Plus grit, any accuracy or difficulty to hit, they must match or beat the target's evasion. Okay, that's what it is. So that's what you're rolling against, evasion.
Yeah, so for example, with me, my evasion is a 10, I think.
I knew I was forgetting something. Yeah, no, their evasion score is 8.
Yeah.
So
it's usually
So
easier to hit
can
people.
confirm those hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So both of those hit. Yeah, they're they are totally dead. I was trying to get a dead marker, but no, they're just gonna go away.
Boy.
So your last sweep, you hit another building where it looks like the rest you're seeing movement in, and when you pull the blade back, you just see nothing moving at this point. And it's gone
There's a
dead.
brief pause, and you like imagine see Ursa's back, like kind of poking his head in there, and you just hear on the radio, "All clear!"
Yeah.
Oh.
And that is Ursa's turn.
Just like a free action as well, which you see these individuals are like moderately well equipped troops. They're not like super high tech. They're not like what you would have experienced, Demon or Reaper, in your time in the Union military. But they're very much like not like bumpkin in the middle of nowhere kind of militia. This is like a professional force, looks like.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Oleg's probably worked with guys like this.
Sierra to Juliet. It's Demon.
Go ahead, Demon.
Confirm we've got heavily armed ground troops on the ground.
Understood. I'll pass that up the chain. Warn the other drop teams if they already haven't encountered them.
Copy that.
Yep.
Reaper, how you doing?
Plating took a hit.
You still good?
No major damage otherwise.
All right.
Yeah, from you just see like smoke and like there's a couple of like, dented plates and that kind of thing. They didn't get through the armor.
All right, people. So we've got ground troops with heavy artillery. Don't rush to any buildings. Try and clear them before you get close.
Okay. From here on out, you will get you'll get an accuracy when forced to make a spot check. And so who's going next?
Spanner.
The bad guys, I believe.
Oh yes, yeah, you're right. You're right. You are right when you're right.
I find that's true most of the time.
Indeed. We are correct when we are correct.
That is correct. Yes, we are correct when we're correct. People die when you kill them. Did you know that?
Yeah. People die when they are killed.
Yeah, no, those guys just learned that lesson.
Yeah.
No. I just need to double check speed on the Taniel.
People die when they get shot by an artillery class shotgun.
Yeah. Ka-chink.
It's just the Ronin from Titanfall 2 with like it just evaporates them. They are now no longer people, they are just mist. Atmospheric, if you would.
You have like a, God, I don't even know, like a mini car sized shotgun shell that just slides out and slams into the pavement.
What's the equivalent of a 4 gauge for a 10 meter tall robot?
It always blows my mind in these mech animes when they have brass shell casings for these 90 millimeter and 120 millimeter machine guns and everything like that, and it's just like that is an Abrams main gun firing at like a 500 rounds per minute kind of rate of fire. It's like, and those shells are like in and of themselves weapons. Like, why aren't you firing a caseless shot at this point?
My logic is like certain weapons you would have to have caseless ammunition because it would just be far more like economical, but this is by default a shotgun. Like it has to be, it is a shotgun, so there has to be a containment for it.
Why not?
Yeah.
So you see from your like ISR a tank in the south starts rumbling forward. And it's taking like a leisurely pace. It's not going super quick, but it is moving directly towards you all. If anybody wants any more information on that, they'll have to make a check during their turns about these things, because there are ways of getting info on them, but you have to sacrifice something for that. So yeah, that is the end of that Taniels. This is, what one is this? This is just number 3. So did their turn. Who wants to go next?
Me. So I'm going to move. Boop. Boop. Shall I go there?
It's up to you.
I know. I'm just trying to think which is better.
Well, you're not
I'll go
incurring any.
there.
Yeah, you're not encountering any difficult terrain or anything in either direction. So.
Okay, how do I get things to move?
There's a little select tokens thing in the top right. It's like 4 corners icon, top left.
Yeah,
and, like
top
your
left.
controls, top left.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just doing
Just
that a lot
underneath
today.
the anvil icon.
Yep. Select tokens. You were on measuring.
You can just click and drag.
Yeah, you just click and drag. Yep.
Okay, and can I give Reaper's armor a quick check over, make sure that he's good to go for a bit longer?
Sure. Is that an ability you're using?
I do have investigate.
You have investigate. Just let me double check what that is. It does. I have to see if that is applicable here. No, that wouldn't be applicable here, and neither would patch.
Oh, no, patch isn't. And hack or fix, I assume I have to get out the mech.
Hack or fix, yeah, that's more of a long-term thing. If you just want to double check their how good or bad they are, just in general, like I won't even make you like roll for that. You can just see like it was a pretty heavy hit. Like it wasn't a light hit by any means, but it was, but it didn't get through the armor or do any structural damage. It's mostly just cosmetic. He's got some pretty hefty dents in some of his armor panels.
Also, we didn't really dwell on it, but the first attack against us the entire campaign was a critical hit.
That's not unusual for Roach.
That's not unusual. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
learning a
it's
lot
like,
here.
Which is even more
Yeah.
ironic considering how every single campaign
Yeah.
seems to go.
Yeah.
People died in the first game of Zweihander.
Yeah.
Important NPCs died.
A very powerful mage that was there to balance out the encounter died on the first attack of the first combat in the first episode of that campaign.
I remember I commented something like, so he definitely didn't just get gibbed into oblivion. And that's exactly what happened. He just became meat paste in the air.
Yeah.
It just kept rolling those things, just kept rolling crits on the attack damage roll and just kept going.
The way I look
really
at
bad.
it is that every single enemy in Zweihander, in every Zweihander game you run, has the Gib feat from Fallout.
Bloody mess.
Bloody mess, that one, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah.
Can I do a sort of look at the building to the, well, it would be to the left of me, the
big one?
bigger one, and see if there's any
Big one.
troops around there?
Sure. Just make a systems, I'll say, make a systems check with an accuracy. By the way, you do have to manually track your damage on these. So, Mikey, remember to track your HP on there. So you took 5 damage.
Got it.
That's to HP, not structure.
Yeah.
Structure that's
is
very important.
If you lose all your structure, your mech explodes. If you lose all your HP, you lose a structure.
If you lose one structure, there's a chance things can explode.
Yeah, you roll a 1 and it's like, well, my reactor got hit.
Yep. So let me just double check there. So yeah, just roll your systems with an accuracy, and you'll an accuracy, not an inaccuracy. 26. You do not
26?
see. Yep, you do not see any movement within that building. It looks clear. There's a target number I have for this one specifically. Or, well, there's this one's a little harder, but yeah, you don't see anything in there.
Okay, I make the group aware that that seems okay.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, so far, so no panic. Actually, I was going to do that.
Gonna do what?
Check she isn't panicking.
Oh, okay.
You did just watch someone take a rocket to their mech, so
Literally 30 seconds on the ground, you just saw like one of the guys that knows what he's doing get hit by multiple rockets in the middle of nowhere.
he doesn't seem all that scratched up about it though. He's like, happens.
We good.
Okay, cool. All right, and now it's the enemy turn. Point. So we're gonna go number 2. And number 2 is just going to go 4. I'll move up that direction. And that's the end of its turn. Demon. There's no other options. It's got to be you.
It's gotta be me.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Can I move there?
I think you can. I'm pretty sure if you're measuring distance, you can go. Yeah, you can place it where you need to make a turn and then make the measurement from there, knowing which did. So if you need to avoid that rock, because that'll be terrain intervening, you can definitely get. Yeah, you can definitely get there. No issues.
All right. Having got there, Reaper, Spanner, go for the building that Spanner says is clear. Get on top. Snipe from what you can. So we're going south into the town. There's a tank moving our way. We're going to try and hit it from 2 sides.
On it.
Copy.
Affirmative.
End of your turn.
End of my turn. There's nothing for me to shoot.
Yep.
Yet.
All right, and this one's just gonna go forward. 4. You can do a double quick, can't you? That's not how you say that, but you can do a double quick movement, I'm pretty sure, by using a...
Boost lets you move to equal to your speed again.
Yep, so this one's going to use a boost. Technically all of them should, but I'm saying it's pretty early in the combat. Okay, because technically tracked vehicles, or vehicles that are the vehicle template, can't turn during their move. They have to go straight and then finish a movement and then go straight again if they're doing
Interesting.
that. They're very... Yeah, they're very limited on what they are because their vehicles are not they're representative of the fact they're not bipedal or quadrupedal, or hexapedal. There's a lot of Lancer, octopedal. No, hexapedal.
Listen, Armor Core comes out in 2 days, and I could not be more happy about it. Sorry, I've been nerding out for this. I've been waiting for this game for years. Anyways,
We're not going to see or hear from Lake for at least 77 days.
Like Baldur's Gate.
Playing Baldur's Gate 3 during the day, Armored Core 6 during the night. Sleep does not exist.
No.
It's the PM. What
is
game.
sleep?
Okay. Okay, and then some things are happening off screen.
It was the best birthday present a guy could have asked for.
What's the best birthday present a guy can ask?
Can one of you just roll a d20 for me?
Who's feeling
Not
lucky?
I have one out.
Okay, just roll d20 for
Red
me.
it is.
What it is.
We
8.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So, just making note of that thing that's happening that you don't know about. Cool. I still can't find a pen anywhere to mark down health points on this piece of paper.
no pen to find.
I'm just gonna use a notepad on my computer. Fuck it. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
It's the end of this combat round, and we start anew. Players go first.
Do we want Ursa to just jump on this other tank and see what he can do about it? I am fully ready to pave the way if that is necessary.
Well, you're going south, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I will take our turn then. I want to refresh my actions. Ursa is going to use a quick action to boost. And he is going to boost because he also has jump jets and literally just go careening through the air, landing right here.
Okay.
Assuming that is okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Because it's fly, so you'd be fine.
He will take his second action to quick action as well. He is going to take a shotgun shot at the tank. It is within accuracy 3, and Ursa is a Vanguard unit. which to point that out, he has a talent, handshake etiquette. If he's within 3 of a target he's shooting at, he gets a 1 accuracy on that, as we mentioned before.
I do
So
love
this is
the
gonna be
name, handshake etiquette. That's so
yes.
It's
good.
very. I love the designers in this game. It's very nice. with
Yeah.
that.
So this is going to be a shot at an accuracy. That is a 10 thanks to the accuracy, and that is 5 points of damage.
Their evasion score is 10.
So that just
I
hits.
think
Yes.
I think it's just hits. Yeah, it's meets or exceeds. So yes, you did just barely hit that. With 5, you say?
5 points of damage.
Okay, I actually need to see what their structure score is because that is one thing I have a problem with these character sheets that they have here. The NPC character sheets have all of their stats ordered in a different setup than the PC character sheets.
yeah.
So it's hard. So I can't do muscle memory of where it's supposed to be as easily. Okay, yeah, no, you do. So you do that damage to it. It having no pen is really fucking with me because
Would you like one of us to keep track of it? I've got pen and paper right here.
It just annoys the shit out of me because I have 3 somewhere within arm's reach of me, but I cannot find them. And that
Object
annoys
permanence,
me so bad.
it doesn't exist.
Oh my god, my ADD ass is like so annoying.
What is object permanence?
I'm hyper fixating on it. That's annoying me. Okay, that's
I will
annoying me
say,
more than not having
Roach,
it. So they have HP 10.
Did you find a pen finally?
No, this is a Sharpie, and I don't want to bleed through 5 pages of this notepad.
It just if you click on it, it should bring up the markers around it. One of those should just be a 0. If you just want to put it in there, that would be an easy way to track it.
I don't know what that does.
It's typically a hit point tracker if you sign that to the character token. But that way you can just manually put in how much damage they've taken.
Okay.
For lack of anything better. Yes, and then because he can break up movement in this game, after he does that, he's going to use his last square of movement because he has moved 7, I believe. He's going to step back 1, basically around cover of the building, he hopes.
All right.
I could get up on top of the building if I wanted to because I still have my boost active, but I'm not going to do that just yet. That is Ursa's turn.
Cool. All right. Command counter. I will get used to this interface eventually. Okay, so we're going to go with Tank 3's turn. So it is going to rumble forward its movement. I'm just going to double check its... You know you're being painted. So you get a warning that like a missile warning, but you get a warning that you're being painted by something. So that means something's marking you is what it essentially means.
Then you all just hear I am getting lots of red lights and it is saying lock on warning.
Yeah, next time don't run away all the way on your own.
And I just need to double check one of these stats here. Weapons. Ba-ba-ba. Because it has the stats of one, but it functions somewhat differently. I just need to double check this. Ooh, that's annoying. It does not have hover information on this one. It does work slightly differently. CompCon, be my savior.
Hover flight?
No, I meant hover is in it like you hover your mouse over like over like an attribute and it would just like show up in a pop-up. Doesn't have that here. Yep, okay. Just so we know here, this is going to pop up just because I know it was coming up and I just want to double check with this because also that lets me know here. This is labeled an anti-materiel rifle, but it does not function in terms of it doesn't have the ordnance trait on it. It is a main gun on a tank. So it can move and shoot as its thing. But yeah, you're painted by there. You know, if you break line of sight or drop prone or something like that, you can lose that, by the way, as as a way that works. And it's going to fire at you with its main gun. So it's got that. It's not going to use that ability because that would be bad, and it's just going to fire at you. That's Reaper. I mistargeted that.
It's always Reaper. It's always Reaper.
It misses Ursa and it hits Reaper in the back. Just like,
It's like through this building somehow.
yeah, okay. Targeting is per account, not per controlled token.
Yeah, so you got to retarget every time, which is a bit annoying, but
It's a bit annoying, it is. Okay, but no, he fires at Ursa. Ursa, what is your
It's 8.
8?
Yeah.
Oh wow, he barely hits even with 2 accuracy. That's because he rolled a 1 and a 2 on the accuracies, and he had to pick the 2, and he rolled a 5 on the die. So
wait, did he move before he used that rifle?
Yeah,
They're,
but as I
they're
said,
tanks. They don't have the
tanks.
ordnance.
Damn it.
doesn't have
That's
the
a bit
ordnance
cringe.
function. Yep. But the thing is that I'm also not using one of the stats that would essentially he gets extra accuracy because he uses the hunter's mark or sniper's mark. Fucking D&D.
Hunter's mark.
He's using
Hunter's mark.
He's using
XD6
sniper's
damage.
mark, but I've changed it a little bit because sniper's mark essentially just means the anti-material rifle just does structure damage instead of regular damage, but it does one structure instead of its normal roll of 10
Jesus.
HP. So I'm redoing that so it's just accurate. It just gives it extra accuracy on top of things because that to me that didn't track that it could just go right through armor with these because they're tanks. But yeah, so that hits you take 10 HP of damage as it goes through. I don't know what your HP for your mech is, but that's
it's a lot lower than it used to be.
yeah, that's true. So yeah, this thing rumbles forward and you see it just like raise the cannon at it and just fires a full shot at you, which you get like a couple of warning sirens. So it does that, and then it cannot move anymore because it used all of it what it has. Yep. And that's the end of its turn. So who wants to go next?
Demon?
Yeah, I think I'll have to go next because he's on his own down there.
Just a combat mech fighting against a Panzer III or something like that. Just a little tank.
Unless I double move, there's nothing else I can do.
It gets you in position.
It does.
And it sets you up for further action.
You could boost. That lets you move another 4.
Yeah, I'll have to. All right, I'm boosting.
Okay. Go ahead and move another 4. And yep, you see it right there.
That's it.
Okay, cool. And that was Demon that did that, and now we're doing number 1. We'll be going. Ooh, what's he gonna do? The limited handling actually makes this a lot worse in these city streets. So it's just gonna go 4 here, and it's using a boost, but because it can't like return in mid movement, it's just gonna be able to go 1 down, and that's the end of its turn because it can't use the further 3 of it because that would be going into a building.
Just drive straight through it.
You would know intuitively as well that like 1/2 structure wouldn't bother this thing. It because of the way it's built, it ignores like difficult terrain. Okay, Reaper or Spanner wants to go next.
How can I tell whether I have line of sight on that tank?
Well, if you draw a line between there and see where your line intersects with it, the line itself, not the actual like hexes. So Reaper, unless they got on top of the building, which I'm assuming. Did you say you were going on top of the building for your thing, or you're just like next to the building tower?
Well, that depends. I think on if we should help out Ursa, which I think we should. But I could get on the building because I have my jump jets.
Yep. Technically, the way the system works, actually, that would work fine.
I assume it has to be a full hex, though. It can't be like these little half hexes or this quarter hex here to extend the actual roof of the building.
I'd say it still counts.
Okay.
So who wants to go where? Who wants to go is what I meant. Spanner.
You go, Reaper.
Let me check something real quick.
I think Reaper's Day. Just another tank like draws a bead on you on the bell tower. You're just like that sniper in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. Start quoting the fucking Bible.
Yeah, we need to just make up one for the one. A good book.
But I'm not that good at that, so I just won't. I'm not good at religious textures, so I won't do that. Right.
We need to do that.
So I can't.
You guys don't know you have an entire user's manual for the GMS Everest in your like journal right now. It's totally available for you to read. It's a full one. I wrote that up because I couldn't sleep one night.
I can't use my anti-material rifle because I have ordnance, but I can use my shotgun.
Yep.
So what I can do is I jump jet up to here.
Right.
I'm behind this half cover, which is convenient.
Right. Which is cover,
and then I can shoot this tank. Sorry, hang on. No, wrong selection. That one. I can shoot this tank.
Yep, it's a size 1. Yeah, it's considered size 1, so you would be able to see it from where you're at. Doesn't that because now you're on a building that doesn't block line. So
yep.
So yeah,
shoot with the shotgun.
Yeah, you got the side of the turret or something like square, but it is a shotgun. Yep. But yeah, go ahead, target and fire.
I believe I'm targeting it. Yes, the little pincers have appeared. There's no accuracy here because I assume, even though I'm higher than it, it doesn't really matter.
Actually, and that little thing, by the way, like is not permanent. It resets every time you select the token. So that you were mentioning. So
it doesn't have soft cover. Okay. There's no inaccurate or accuracy bonuses, so it's just a flat roll. Cool.
Yep.
Oh, did you hit enter?
Oh,
I haven't.
Is that?
You hit enter to confirm it. Otherwise, it'll disappear.
I think that just gives it a +5 to some. Ooh, okay.
I miss.
You miss.
Yeah. I rolled a 7, so I miss.
It was very close though, for what it was. Versus evasion. Oh yeah, it tells us that on the actual token whenever you target something correctly. So it gives it a little evasion. Cool. Yeah. So you I'd say like it doesn't necessarily miss. It's a shotgun. So but it's an ineffectual shot. Like it doesn't hit a brunt. It's an armored target. So you just hear it kind of ping off things. Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
I assume I can't make a stealth roll now that I'm on top of this building after shooting.
I think that'd be a full action to do that unless you had something that gave you.
I have act like unseen or unheard, and I also have infiltrator.
Hide is a quick action.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and you can do that, and I guess with act unseen and unheard, or with infiltrator, when entering line of sight, moving cover does not stop you from being hidden. You can pass freely through, but not enter turn in enemy spaces. You can hide even in plain sight of enemies.
Yeah, I am essentially a ghost when I want to be.
When you want to be. So yeah, you can go ahead and do that. I'd say you don't even have to roll for that. You can just activate prowl.
Yeah, so I'm prowling. I've used the
actually that's a thing you have normally.
Yeah, so I'm just using the stuff on the roof as a thing to hide behind.
So you have the hidden feature. I probably could have given you that for the infantry, but that doesn't feel thematic as much because you were just right next to them in a mech.
Yeah,
they were in cover.
We hadn't expected enemies in the building, so it makes perfect sense for him not to be on his full guard.
In the future, though, remind me when I'm doing an attack on you. That way, I can give you the hidden bonus for that.
Cool.
Okay, so that's the end of that, and now we have the Taniel Light Tank 2. Going to move 1 for its main movement because that's how it has to do, and then it's going to use a boost to go another 4. Going around corners is not good for these guys.
The tanks don't have a good time.
Yeah, they do not have a good time. Cool. And then Spanner, it's your turn.
Okay, question for the group.
Mm.
If I have arcing, does that mean cover doesn't really matter or sightlines?
Arcing was what you said?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a keyword on weapons.
tags.
Yeah, because you've got was it a howitzer? Your shot arcs over things.
Fired over obstacles, usually by lobbing a projectile in an arc. Attacks made of weapon do not require line of sight as long as it's possible to trace the path to the target. However, they are still affected by cover. So if it was behind a building directly, you would still have to give it soft or hard cover. But since Reaper's CompCon can see it, and he has what's it called built into his mech? Christ, where is it? He has the... It's not built into his mech, actually. It's one of his gear bits. The smart scope. He can pass visuals to other people.
I'm going to say the smart scope is for when you're not in your mech. That's like personal equipment. So yeah, that's that wouldn't necessarily work. But I'll say you don't necessarily need it's the way arcing works. You don't need line of sight. You just need to be able to draw a path to the target, and cover won't matter. And you can draw a path to the target, and totally fine. So you can definitely do that.
Okay, so I've moved there, and I'm going to try and hit.
But it is ordnance, which means you can't. You have to fire first before you move.
Yeah.
Okay, can I move back?
Sure. Yep. You can do that. You're not. It's not a. I'll say your hand hasn't necessarily left the
chess piece.
The chess piece.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's not letting me move back. So, Roach, do you need
you're
to...
selected on it. Well, no, you're selected on it now because you weren't selected before, but now you just need to hold and.
No, it's not letting me move. Thank
It's
you.
weird. But yeah, go ahead and you're 11 away. You have range 20. So
Yeah. So do I go
It's
for that one or
blast
do I go for the
2.
one for the bottom?
Go for the one that no one's engaging.
Okay.
So which one are you targeting? 1 or 2? That one?
Yeah.
I'm also just going to go ahead and check this. Would be no. It's in the center, and then it affects 2 outside of that. Basically, you have blast 2 on this, so it's 2 squares out, which is quite a bit. But yeah, go ahead and roll your attack.
And because it says inaccurate, I have to take off a d6, don't I?
You receive
There's a difficulty, yes.
There's a difficulty, so you just press difficulty, and it'll apply that.
Oh, it's already applied.
Oh, then go ahead and and roll it then.
Nope.
Yeah, you rolled a 6, got 2 on the difficulty, so it missed. So it fires, but it's inaccurate as it goes in, and it's just a little bit too far on there. I just need you to roll, just untarget them, and just roll another attack for me.
Sorry, I will get.
It's fine. We're getting used
We're all
to
learning.
everything.
We're all learning.
We're all learning.
Give this like 4 months and we'll
first-
still be learning.
The
Oh,
first
it's not
combat always
loaded.
takes the longest.
Weapon howitzer is not loaded.
Yeah, because you shot
You
it.
fired.
You take a turn to load it again.
Yeah, you fired. Just roll a d20 for me with a d6. Afterwards, and we'll just work it out. It's for another thing that it's the best way I can think of to make this work.
You just blow up some guys standing in that building.
Oh.
Okay, well that the d6 was -2 off of 17, so
15.
15, which I believe totally works here. Just let me double check the vision. Yeah, cool. Roll 2d6. Your damage for that, because that's what a howitzer does.
So I hit something.
You hit something. Probably the building or the ground.
I'll
or
let you know because you'll be able to see it once they get damaged. They become
Can I
visible,
see it?
So. You will. Just let me. I want to see how bad they are beforehand. Oh wow!
Yay!
3 and 3. Cool.
Average.
So it's average. Yeah. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not. Hey, it's a target-rich environment, which means you can always claim
Listen.
you're aiming for them.
As Bob Ross said, we don't make mistakes. We make happy accidents.
Exactly. I'm just gonna lay down some howitzer fire across this terrain here.
So you get like a report from like Reaper or somebody who's giving you like a BDA on that attack, and it's just well, you missed the tank, but you see there's a lot of dead bodies on that roof right now.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of dead infantry flying out of that building.
Yeah.
This is the first point in the movie we get the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. So
Right,
yeah, go ahead and do your move now. There you go.
Done.
Cool.
Still not panicking.
Yay! No panic.
Okay, and that's the end of your turn. They got attacked out of turn sequence, so they're not in this turn. So that is the end of round 2.
They had absolutely
keep
no
track.
idea what just hit him.
Oh, because the tank
Yeah.
did move. Okay.
Yeah, I just need somebody. Well, I did move. It's moved very slowly because it had to do a turn.
Yeah.
I just need another d20 for me, please, from somebody.
All right.
It's a random d20.
It's a 5.
It's a 5. Okay.
We're rolling great, man. This is going spectacular. Is this how it's always like for the Tuesday crew?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
it goes bad for a while, but then all of a sudden there's a flip, and like it's just constantly good rolls
Okay.
for like a week or two. Because like that's what happened at the end of the Sleeping Giants campaign. I could not stop rolling critical 20s, and
Yeah.
you know.
There was a time whenever I crit on a major attack to one character from an area of attack with Mikey's character Sesh, and then they rolled a critical failure on the way of avoiding it. And
There's a clip for
that.
that. I'll link it. There's a clip where I literally stand out of my chair and walk away.
Yeah, it was the first time he got attacked by gunpowder weapons en masse, and it
Didn't go well.
It didn't go well.
And Roach was really mean.
I wasn't mean. I was being fine. It was mean.
It was mean. It was really mean.
No, that
glib.
was a different thing when I asked about like buying a new
Yeah,
character with the $17 I had on me. That was a different thing.
So who wants to go first? It's your turn. It's the player character's turn.
Demon wants to take the charge. Let him take the charge.
Demon wants to kill. Okay.
Demon wants to kill.
Demon wants to just shoot something. It doesn't matter if I get the kill. I'm quite happy for Ursa to get the kill.
Demon just
Okay.
wants to see something.
No,
bleed.
this checks out. I if you kill it, then I have other things I can do.
I'm going to move to there.
Okay.
And then I've got the handshake thing that Ursa's got because I am also a Vanguard.
Handshake etiquette. Yes. Love
All
that.
right.
I feel like that's going to get really annoying for Roach, and I love it.
Is
I
that
have a lot of
targeted?
things I can do to you. I don't know. Is it for you? It should have like a big like target icon thing around it whenever you.
Yeah, right click it. Double right click is how you target. You should see like arrows
Got it,
pointing
yep.
at it. Yep. I found out after my second attack because I had not targeted my first two.
Yep.
So I +1 accuracy.
Yep.
Okay.
The first combat
How do I do that?
When you bring up
click-
your weapon attack, just click accuracy.
Yeah, it'll when you click with the attack and the thing, it'll bring up the prompt box to roll like you saw before, but for your attack, and you can click accurate on there. Revel's being given direct instruction.
Yeah. Spanner walks into his cockpit.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what's happening in my head. Is Spanner jumps out of the mech, walks over to
Hey.
Okay, you hadn't actually targeted as a thing. You needed to. Yeah, you hadn't actually targeted him.
I did. It had a dot above it and everything.
The dot isn't the target.
It should look like 4 pincers, like pulsing inwards like a lock on a system. So at the top left of your screen, there's a little anvil. It's the second one down on the right that says select targets. If you click that and then click the tank, it should highlight with like pincers that are pulsing.
Got it.
Yep. But you rolled, so it's a viable roll. It has evasion 10. You roll. That's the second time this tank has been hit.
Just barely. Because of accuracy, yeah.
Because of accuracy. So yeah, you fire, you hit, you do 4 damage to it, which means this thing's not doing so hot right now. So I just need to do that, and that means it's got.
And I still have 3 moves left, don't I?
Yep, because you can break movement up however you want.
As long as you also finish the action you take, yeah.
Yeah, and make sure you switch to off targeting and you're on select. Because I think that's what's also happening with red. Was not on select, it was on.
Possibly.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I do just want to let you know that if I remember correctly, like a regular engagement, like an attack, isn't just firing one weapon mount, isn't it? Right? A ranged attack.
If you use, it depends if you're using a barrage. A barrage lets you fire 2 weapon mounts, or 2 weapons. Sorry.
Yeah, and that still allows you to move.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do that, you could have gotten a second attack on him with one of your other weapon mounts while you were there.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to do that. I've got pistols.
Okay, yes. Yeah. It's a weapon mount, so if you have like 2 weapons on the same mount.
Yes, if you have auxiliary weapons on the same mount, you can fire them as a part of that action. When you fire, it's
But yeah, go ahead.
Flex weapon mounts, thermal pistol, auxiliary CQB.
Yeah.
Okay, and make sure you're targeting this time around, and
let him have it.
Go ahead and fire.
I have 2 pistols.
Are they on the same mount?
Let me just double check your loadout.
Flex mount, thermal
Yes.
pistol, thermal pistol.
You should be able to fire both of those then.
Yep.
Okay.
You just have like a rack of pistols on one shoulder.
This is why a barrage
Have you
is a
met
big deal.
Rival?
This does sound like Rival, to be fair. Hey, you hit him.
Okay, that's 1.
That's 2.
It's another. Well, the first one killed him. The second one, you're firing into the corpse of a tank. So it's
just to make sure.
He had 1 HP left with that. So yeah.
You just got to double tap him just to make sure, you know.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do something here just to make it look kind of thematic.
Hey.
It's a bit toasty.
Yes.
A little bit toasty.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah, and because these things probably only have like 2 crew members in them, a commander and a driver, it's an auto loader, so the turret just goes flying like every tank with an auto loader does.
I will be really
what we call a
disappointed.
critical kill.
I will be really disappointed if at some point we don't run into a Magellan class tank in this series, Roach, where for whatever reason, the turret is actually a separate entity from the body and can detach and fly around if the body is compromised. Because that was the thing that that's the thing the Earth Federation had in the 1 year war. No, that was Xeon that used that.
So
that was not the Magellan.
Yep. Finish
the other one.
Actually, it was a Magellan because the Type 61 was the one that.
Yes, the Magellan was the Earth Federation forces, but it was the Xeon tank that did that. Yes.
No, you got those mixed. either way. Well, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, you can finish your movement, Demon, because you had your final 3 hexes you could move from your original movement.
In which case, I am going to. I'm guessing I can't walk where the tank is.
It doesn't exist. It's dead. And so you can move it. You can move on top if you want to.
Dead things do not control their space.
Yep.
I didn't know if it was like a wreckage that we couldn't bypass or something like that.
Technically, there are things that create wrecks, but they're. I'm not sure how vehicles would work with that, and I don't think that has enough mass to really matter too much, honestly. So, cool. So Reaper.
1 tank down.
So yeah, Demon has finished their movement. And now it's the enemy movement. Cool. Okay. Number 1 is going to move forward 2 and target you, Reaper. Now you are hidden.
Yeah.
Obviously. But.
And I'm behind cover as well, I think. Half cover or whatever it would be. Soft cover.
I think that's soft cover because it's not a full.
It's a half size, yeah. But I am up, so I don't know if that would also. Nah, it probably wouldn't. So.
No,
soft cover.
Yeah, nothing's blocking line of sight to you, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
So you can fire. So, but you're hidden and you have soft cover. So that's how that works.
Yep.
Okay. So it is going to fire its main gun at you.
Pew.
You have soft cover.
And I'm hidden.
Yeah, I just need to see what hidden actually does because it's not a thing you can impart on here. I think it just gives a
hidden
statuses and
they're hidden and cannot be targeted.
Oh, cannot be targeted. Can find hidden with search.
Yeah, so they can't see me. That's essentially it. They just can't see me.
Right. I need to check that ability because that is very over the top.
I mean, hey, you let me pick it.
Yeah, I just need to see if do you have to invoke talents?
It does mention that I will lose it if I do certain things. I just haven't checked what those are.
I think the clarifier is the last line that we missed. These effects end when your turn
ends. Yeah.
So that is a significant point to that, yes.
I haven't had my turn yet, though, is the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Because you do it on your turn, it only lasts until the end of your turn.
Yeah. So you can target me, I suppose, would be the way to put that then.
Yeah, we'll have to double check on syntax, whether or not they mean turn around or whatever it is and how that works within that.
Because there is that's fair.
You still have soft cover.
Oh, it says here in brackets, so you lose hidden if you're still in line of sight or out of cover at the time, which I wasn't at the time when I ended my last turn.
Oh, so if
I end my turn out in the open, I lose hidden, essentially. I have to stay behind cover to keep hidden.
Okay, then yeah, you're untargetable because you are technically behind cover, and even if it's half cover. So you have to be next to that to get that. Cool. So that is not an attack that they do. So we just move forward that way, and I guess he's gonna move forward the full movement, and then use a boost to go there. That's the end of Daniel 1.
Cool.
Okay. Next turn is whoever wants to do it on the friendly side.
Anybody feeling strong?
I mean, I've got target-rich environment here.
You would need to
Go
load
forth
your
and
main
conquer.
gun. Or no,
My main gun hasn't been shot.
Yeah,
it's true.
Fired a shotgun.
Yep. So I
You have
could
line of
shoot
sight
the
of the
anti-material
tank.
rifle at one of the tanks.
Yep.
I can still see this Tunnel Tank 1 up here at the top, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. I'll target him. I'm going to activate Crack Shot As a protocol, you may steady your aim. I am immobilized until the start of my next turn, but I gain +1 accuracy in all attacks I make with rifles. Yep. Do I want to use armory? No, that generates heat. I don't think I need to do that yet. And the weapon itself is accurate, I believe. The anti-material
It gives you a
rifle.
+2 accuracy generally, just off the cuff.
It's accurate. So that would be a +3 accuracy?
Well, yeah, because you would apply an accuracy
shot.
for crack shot.
And then
And
2
accuracy
for
is
the
plus
hit.
1.
So it's
It's
+1.
it's plus 1 for the rifle.
Yeah, so a +2 accuracy then.
Yep. So you'd have 2d6 on top of this when you go in, and that will because you can apply multiple accuracies in the thing by just adding stuff. So that's totally viable.
Yep.
So yeah, just go ahead and roll
accuracy, I am accurate. I've applied that. I've applied my other source from crack shot.
it. Mm-hmm.
11 to hit, 11 damage.
Cool. Yeah. So you fire, and this thing immediately goes up in flames, as it only has 10 HP, and you hit. So you go straight. It only has 1 structure as well. So this thing just
Then
goes
that's it. That's my turn because I
down.
can't move because I'm immobilized from crack shot. I'm still behind cover, so hidden doesn't go away.
Yep. So he goes down. You see this thing like immediately. It was rumbling around, and you just caught it right whenever it was going. Just immediately like stops, and then doesn't move anymore. Eerily, just kind of stays still.
This blue hole in it, the size of a small, like, the size of a bucket.
Just softly smoking, like there's some sort of internal damage done to it. It's just staying there.
Yep.
Yep.
It's
cool.
on its lunch break.
So that's the end of your turn. So these guys are going to go ahead and so I just need to double check stats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So yeah, this unit is going to go. The anti-tank squad that is up there. They are going to target. They're going to target Demon. Because they are up on a high level and they have 10 distance with their anti-tank gun. I'm just going to move this tank so I can target you.
That is probably one thing. You probably shouldn't like just sit on top of dead tokens because we're a layer below them, so it's hard to target them.
Yeah, it is. But it's not. But I get it. It's fine. I can move things around. So they're going to target you, Demon, and you get a warning right before they hit. Right before they get fired, just a barrage of anti-tank rockets coming right at you. They don't have any bonuses or anything from what I can see here. They're correctly targeting Demon. That's Demon's token. Cool. They don't get any accuracy because they weren't in ambush when this goes. They're just going to roll flat roll.
Oh yeah, they miss. Nice.
Yep.
That's what we like to see.
Yep. So, okay, that does that. That's the end of their turn. And now it's one of you. It's Ursa or Spanner.
Well, is there anything you need to
do you
do?
have a plan?
That depends. Can Ursa see over this building right here?
No, it is a size 1 building.
It is the
so
same
block
size as
line.
so it's the same size as I
Yeah.
am. Okay. Then I have nothing that I have any.
Oh, you would be able to see those guys in the other buildings because they're on size 1 buildings on top of a size 1. So technically, they're size 2 height.
Then I do have something that I could do. Yes.
Okay.
If that's fine with. Okay. Then Ursa, at the start of his turn, he is going to use a quick action. In the quick action, he's not going to use quick action. He is. he is going to use the Everest's ability for once a scene to use a free quick action. And that quick action he's going to use is to fire his anti-material rifle that is attached to his back.
Nice.
He is going to shoot it at this Republic squad that is on top of this building.
And hope they're all.
Yeah, and just hope that this works. They have soft cover against
Anything.
guns, so this is a neutral roll. I do not have sniper. I am not super good at this. So, waha! It's a 14
You still hit. Well done.
Nice.
for 5
Yeah.
points of damage. Which, to be fair, I'm glad it did make sense. It didn't do too much damage. It is just a single round tearing through one of these guys.
Well, no, it's
alright.
totally fine because remember these guys got hit by an artillery shell.
Oh, that's
earlier.
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so and they
Yep.
only had 4 HP left. So
That's the second time he's just blown out the floor of a building these guys are on.
yep, it's
You
very
hit like a
desperate.
stash of laws, and they all blow up.
Yeah, you hit their
Alright.
AT. So yeah, no, they are they're dead.
Great.
That was not that hard.
He's going to use his movement to take cover behind this building here, and then
That
he is
looks
going to
really
use.
bad with that.
He's
skull.
going to
I'm
use
just
his
gonna delete
remaining-
these.
He's going to use his remaining 2 actions to take a full action to stabilize, and he's going to spend a repair to fix himself
Cool.
because he took a lot of damage from that shot.
Yes, he did.
It's fine. He's got plenty of repairs. It's what Oleg's here for. He's here to have fun. That is
Okay.
Oleg's turn. He as he
Alright.
heals, as he patches himself up behind this building.
Right. Okay. So now it is the last guy's turn over here. Gotta move forward. 2. Then use a boost. Actually, no, he's gonna move forward 1, and then he's gonna use a boost to go 4 down. There. And that's the end of his turn. Spanner.
Okay, so Spanner is gonna go her full movement.
Mhm.
And then she is going to try and check the 2 buildings to the south of herself and Demon for any more of these nasty tank
I'll say if
buster
that's
dudes.
just going to be your action to do that, you can just roll and you'll get a flat yes no on
Yep.
both those. So just roll a systems check. With an advantage or an accuracy because you're aware of them. And that's what that gives you. Yep,
21.
the two size 3 and the size 2 directly south. These like around this size 2 and the 2 size 3s on either side of them clear.
I would put that back to the green.
Okay. Cool.
Told you I'm quite good at spotting things.
Very true. So I need somebody again to roll a d20 for me.
Red or I have not done it. Would you like to do the honors?
Red's done it. Rival has.
Oh, right, rival. We can take the 2. It doesn't matter. We're doing great.
Doing
Cool.
great.
So at
We're
the
rolling
end
for the
of this-
success of the other military operations. It's not going well for us, guys.
No.
You were rolling for some things, and yeah, low rolls weren't great. So
That's what we like to hear.
happens? Yeah. So what happens at the end of this combat round is you hear Juliet come on over the squad comms, warning you, saying, telling you, Hammer, we have hostile reinforcements inbound now.
We knew that. They're coming from the south.
Where are they coming from?
South side, up a side street. And what you see from your kind of onboard like drone camera is 2 things coming out of kind of some like smoke coverage. Like there's some fires somewhere deeper in the city going on right now that have obscured some things. And you see, that's the wrong person I picked up there. Whoa.
Right. I realized I could actually click stabilize and show you what I did. He also reloaded his anti-material rifle when he did that.
Cool. I keep forgetting there's so many like things programmed in here.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I meant to click restore HP, not Colmac. That was the one mistake. But yes, that is.
Yeah. Totally fine. I just need to.
Imagine what Oleg actually understands how to build a mech.
Yeah. So you see two things pop into the side of this on the bottom into your
we
AO.
got two more. We got two boys.
And they immediately go into the turn order, though that was their turn to enter. So.
Well, if that is the end of the turn, I think we should call it there. Considering we're almost at time, we won't have enough time to go through a full round.
Sure.
Totally works, yeah.
So everybody at home,
are we going to get reinforcements hot dropped?
Maybe. Be nice, wouldn't it? Everybody at home, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the follow button. Make sure to find all of our socials. You can find them all down below. Same with our Discord, where you can get updates for when we go live. Next week, we should have a full slew of episodes. So you should have a Ellendor Mondays at 1800 GMT. You should have us on Tuesday at 1930 GMT. And then you
don't know if we have a Wednesday game next week because Shannon is still on vacation. He was gone for 2 weeks.
Right.
No, sorry. That started the week while we were at Gen Con, though, so that should be fine. Okay, we should be back tomorrow.
So if there is no Wednesday next week, you can blame Lake directly. It's on stream.
I will accept it, even if it's not actually my fault.
Thank you. We appreciate
That's fair.
So you can find, we should have a full suite of things, and that starts at 2300 GMT. I believe that is 6 East Coast, 1800 East Coast, I think, in or around there. And you can find all of that stuff. You can find all that stuff, of course, on our podcast, on Podbean, and also on our YouTube channel. So, yet again, thank you all for everybody for showing up tonight. And I'm going to shout out everyone here with me. Big shout out to GM Roach, Commissar Roach, for writing and DMing this campaign. Thank you to DM Lake for joining the Tuesday crew. We didn't get to say that last week, but thank you for showing up and for being here and for gracing us with your presence.
And murdering the crap out of a bunch of bad guys.
They weren't civvies. No, it wasn't a war crime.
Yeah. I mean, they might have been civilians of the planet. Who knows? They're still bad guys, so you know.
Yeah, it counts, right? And of course, we have the magnanimous duo of Rival and Red from RivalzoneGaming. You can find them on YouTube at RivalzoneGaming. And with that, I am also SurelyOnlyMikey. I've ran the stream today, and it's gone reasonably well, so I'm happy enough.
Round of applause. First time running the whole stream.
I am fairly happy with how that's gone. So yet again, thank you all for showing up. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And we are clear.
I didn't want to say it during the stream to increase your anxiousness. The combat screen was off kilter by about 40 pixels to the right.
On both sides.
On both sides. So it's like it wasn't matched up correctly. That's not your problem though.
No, that was Midge. Yeah.
You just need to let Midge know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that combat system.
We'll figure that out at some point.
Huh?
I like that combat system.
Yeah, it's fun.
The fact that you can
look
make
forward
plans and stuff. It's great.
I look forward to actually building a mech that uses the benefits that I got, other than just like I'm a shotgunner. Because I was originally going to build a mech very similar to yours, Rivals, because it's all about CQB and getting close and shooting them. But then I'm like, yeah, but Oleg doesn't know how to pilot things, so he would just use like whatever a standard configuration is. Thus, the anti-material rifle on a guy who has CQB training.
No,